Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you're amongst the slightly less than 50%, as a few hundred have subscribed since I've been doing these messages, but if you're amongst the people who are not subscribed already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live, and most importantly, if you would like to join the debate, there is a link in the info box below this video. With the page you are currently listening to me on muted, simply click that link to join the discussion and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number one, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected. And if you are, please do not try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. In a moment, I'm going to transition across to my photographs so I can share the show on Facebook and Twitter and Skype. And I would encourage anybody who is in the live audience presently to please also share the show. One last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. That was quick. Before I've even shared, it looks like we've got some in the Hangout. Let's have a look. We do, and it's Sleeping Warrior. How are you doing?
Looking forward to Rumpus coming on. Apparently, he's going to debunk Isle of Man using angular resolution, angular size, or angular measurements of angles, or something along that nature. Rumpus, if you're out there, come on, get in. Let's get this show on the road. We've only got 2 hours. You should take about 10 minutes to sort out.
Fair enough. There we go. That was quick. How you doing, Rumpus? Good to have you here.
Oh.
Can you say a couple more words? I just want to level you up, make sure you're both the same volume. Can you just say a couple more words, Rumpus?
Yeah, I'm here. I said something.
Good enough for me. Right, I'll go on mute.
Hey, Rumpus, did you do a picture? Because sort of what you're presenting probably will coincide exactly with the picture that I produced. I did a revised picture of mine now that I identified more landmarks, and maybe that will help you.
Yeah, I've done all that, and I've also put some angles in. I've established exactly where things are, unlike all the gibberish that we've been fed by these flat earthers.
Gibberish. So, come on, then prove it. Let's do it based on evidence, not based on maths. Go.
Yeah. Okay. Right, let's go.
Let's see what gibberish you're going to come up with, prick.
Where is my? Why can't I see my? Oh, there we go. Right. Okay, so this is a slightly processed version of the photographs that we've been given. Fixed, of course, twice.
Well, don't boot Ranty, and then it won't have to be, would it?
Right, but what you could, so I don't know if you can see. So this, if you can you see this?
Hi, is that David? Can I just have a quick hello from David? How you doing?
Doing.
Just get rid of some of this crap.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yeah, we hear you, David.
Oh, we do. Oh, I didn't hear him. Enough for me.
Right. Yes,
can you hear me?
Just about. I'll turn you up a bit.
Hello. Hello.
There we go.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, so this is I've put the things I think in the right place. It's just about right in this composited thing. And what you can do, instead of doing all this guesswork about what looks like a bush or not or something else, you can take the big features that you can see, like the mountains, and then say, right, what's the angle between these features? Then match that against the pixels of the picture. And because the pixels in the picture are effectively an angular thing, and even when you rotate the camera, pan the camera, it still maintains the same angular resolution per pixel. So what you can do, so although the distances, although bits of this island, you can, starting off over here is, right over here is much closer to you, and over here it's much further away. I mean, it's about 30 miles, or then, sorry, 15 miles between those 2 points, and it's going away at an angle. The angular thing is, of the picture is still the same. So what you can do is, if you can work out the take a feature, which I've got under here, of this particular mountain here and this particular mountain here, making sure, of course, you've composited the picture correctly, which these flat earthers seem capable of doing. You can then work out the angle between.
Rumpus. Just demonstrate your stuff. Quit being ad hoc.
Shut up. Right, now, so what you can do is you can determine the angle between these 2 points, and you can use Google Earth to see what the heading is. If you use the ruler tool, you can work out the angle between those. So these angles I'm showing here are the angles from St. Bees. And this particular mountain here called Siglu, from St. Bees is an angle of 248.1. This one here, I didn't do this one because you can't really see where the peak is, or this one's a bit dodgy as well. So this is a bit of a bigger distance as well. That's Bien Y Fort. You can do this, determine this. And oh, by the way, I must mention Alexander. I was actually doing this about 2 days ago. Then I moved on to trying to do this presentation on refraction because Anthony doesn't understand refraction. But meanwhile, Alex went off and did this first actually, and then we then came up with independently with results. We've agreed completely where everything is independently. So yes, got to give credit to Alex first doing this first. Right, so you can then know that the angle to Bien Y Fort, however you pronounce that, is 244.97 from St. Bees. So then you know how many pixels there are per degree. And here, there are 431.5 pixels in this particular resolution I'm using, although if you were to put those pixels in, it would be more than that. And I know because if you subtract this number from that number, and then divide by the number of pixels, you end up with 0.0073928 degrees per pixel. So you know how many degrees that is. So then when you go over to here, which is there's the left-hand edge of this picture, and you say, right, well, you then know how many pixels that is. You know where this is in degrees. So therefore you can work out where that is in as a heading from St. Bees. So you do the calculation. You say, I know that's 102.8 pixels from here to here. Multiply that by the degrees per pixel we worked out from here. So we end up with 7.59 degrees. So this point here is 7.59095 degrees to the left of Bien Y Fort, which is at 244.97. So do the subtraction, and you end up with this point here being 237.379 degrees heading from St. Bees. And as I say, Alexander got it to within 1/1000th of a degree, even though he was using a separate image actually being recomposited by Ranty apparently, and I'd rejigged the original. And guess what that is? That's Douglas. In fact, you can't see Douglas. In fact, it's just slightly to the right of Douglas. So those are the cliffs of Douglas. So all this rubbish about trees and things that Anthony was leading us through, and Ranty was claiming God knows what was where with all his presentations, utter bollocks. And what's more, this also resolved the problem that Nathan pointed out was honing in on Paul, which was, okay, how come if this is really low, which it was, if it was that headland that we've been discussing as being to the left of here, how come we're thinking we can see that yet when we go over here? I haven't got the rest of this picture, but you can just about make out some bits over here, which wouldn't be possible. So Nathan was actually making an intelligent point there, but unfortunately, the point that he was looking at is not that headland that's only at 23 meters high. He's looking at those cliffs just outside Douglas, which are whatever it is, 100 meters high or something. So
yeah, they're about 400 feet, over 100 meters.
Yeah, over 100 meters. So in other words, so we're missing. So that's 100 meters high just there at 50 miles, isn't it? Douglas is almost exactly 50 miles away. Was it 45 miles? I can't remember.
No, actually, those cliffs there, no, Rumpus, those cliffs there are at, hold on, they're less than that. I measured them. Those cliffs are exactly where I also came in my analysis.
Right, because I've only just finished the analysis, so I was going to go and check exactly how high are they? Those cliffs
they're about 400 feet.
One's in front. So right.
Sorry, can I just say hello to our latest guest? Sorry to interrupt you guys. We've been joined by Creed. Can you just say hello, Creed?
Sir.
Good to have you here, my friend.
Right, so this point here that we can only just see is in fact 400 feet high, just in front of Douglas, and it's
those cliffs are at 40 miles, by the way. About 39.
40 miles, sorry, okay, 40 miles. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it's 40 or 50. Yeah, okay, that's right. They're a few miles in front of Douglas, aren't they? Yeah. So okay, so that point there is 40 miles away, according to what I've only just finished the analysis myself, so I didn't check the distance. So it's about 40 miles away, according if the epistemology is correct there, and it's about 400 feet high. So that's what. So that is. So this would completely counter the. Oh right. We apparently you can't see what I'm showing you here at the moment. So I'll wait. Well, hopefully you'll return to. See, I'll just carry on talking until I see what you can see. So hope. So apparently this seems to be a good time for Nathan to show you something else besides the screenshot. That's quite clever. Right, so if you can see what I'm showing you, you should. So basically there's a tiny little pixel you can see at the left-hand edge of the image. That is at 400 or whatever the height of the cliffs are in front of Douglas. So it turns out what we're missing in terms of the height is probably now what I'm done the calculation. It's probably about just 100 feet or so. And I've got another presentation, which is actually what I was working on, where I was going to show you how much. And I was drawing a scale map of the view, showing you just how tiny the extra refraction required is to.
All right, let me start my response. Let's test your theory by testing it to known landmarks on the map.
Okay, that sort of brings up my point real quick.
All right, I gotta stop. Wait, let's do this one at a time because we're not doing it where there's 15 different points. Let's stick with just one.
But I want you to know, I did an overlay with the revised version with all the little lines that Ranty gave you, and I have that side by side with mine, and it lines up.
Okay, stop.
Except I think the landmarks that you guys have pointed out are the wrong landmarks. But
all right,
I can explain to you why they're
just
wrong.
Wait, let's deal with that second. Let's deal with 1 point at a time. We're not doing it where there's 15 points all on the table at once because it goes nowhere. Right, could you present your screen again, please, Rumpus?
I am, unless I've been switched off.
No, right, sorry, I'd switched it off on my screen locally. Right, okay, so could you do and pixel?
In fact, I don't seem to. In fact, it's not being presented here on. Oh, perhaps it doesn't. I can't remember now whether. Can you not see my screen?
Yes, I can. I don't know if the chat can, but I can.
Can you see epistemology? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, the public chat can see it as well.
Right, good.
Right, can you do a pixel calculation to tell me what the degrees, according to pixels, the lighthouse that Jeremy pointed out is, please? Could you do that live and we'll test it?
Unfortunately, I don't have the right-hand edge in my picture, so I don't have the pixel. I don't have the lighthouse. By the way, someone was claiming that the white part. I saw someone today was claiming that the white part of the lighthouse was at the top. Oh no, the lighthouse part goes down to the bottom of the white bit. It's the building behind it that goes up, and it's also at an angle. So that was a completely incorrect point, whoever made that. But anyway, I don't have the lighthouse on this picture, so I can't. Unfortunately, I don't have the revised, the extended picture, the high-res one or whatever it is that Ranty supplied to Alex. I only have this old one. Oh, no, sorry, I didn't know.
I'm pretty sure you do have the lighthouse.
But actually, I do have Alex provided me with it. So in fact, hold on, if I could go and do that. Actually, yeah, I've got Alex's one here. So here we go.
Yeah, that's the one that we've been using as well.
So according to so this is Alex has done this, and not me.
Okay.
So I presume I don't know where the is the lighthouse at 252. I'll go and check on Google Earth now to go and find out where that lighthouse is.
I'll check it. I want you to start with the maths because we've only got 2 hours and this time flies. So start with 252 and I'll check it in the background. Okay.
Well, I can go
150
and look at
miles. Hear me?
You're breaking up, David. Not very well, no.
Right, listen, Rumpus, I'll check the bearing. I want you to do the maths while I'm doing it, okay?
Okay.
Because we don't have a lot of time and I want to get through as
many.
Well,
we do actually. We've got 2 hours.
Yeah, but 2 hours flies because we don't stay on topic long
enough. Not with me, because I'm quite quick at getting to the relevant point.
Yeah, but it doesn't stay on point. That's all.
I do, absolutely. Yes, I'm quite direct and very focused.
All right, well, let's you stay on that. And so you want to know the bearing to the end where the land drops off?
Yeah, because I haven't done that because I didn't have.
I've got some maps I want to show you here in a minute when y'all get a chance.
Yeah, okay, we're in the middle of something here.
So I make it according to. Well, see, this is where I'm not sure that I agree with Alex, but it looks like on my screen I have it somewhere between.
Well, I say Alex hasn't put the lighthouse in here. He's just put the end of what he can see. I have no idea where that corresponds to the lighthouse. You're asking me things I don't really know about.
Right, we'll go with 252. I'll agree with 252.
Well, I don't know. No, he hasn't claimed that. I mean, that's just the end of. I have no idea where the lighthouse is or not.
I agree with 252.11.
You do? Oh, okay, you do agree with that. Okay, so you're telling me that I don't know that. You're just telling me. Okay.
Well, I'm looking on my screen. I've got
the guy that took these photos needs to be here talk about it.
No, he doesn't.
I know
Yes.
enough about it to be able to deal with it.
Right. Okay. So you're telling me the lighthouse is here at 252. Okay. Well, if you given the
No,
fact
not the lighthouse. Not the lighthouse.
Oh,
The
what?
point on
Oh.
the map.
Oh,
The point
okay.
on the map that Alex has measured.
Ah, this point. Okay, you're
It's 150 miles, isn't it?
And
No,
what I
it's
want
not.
you to do.
Didn't he
It's
prove a thing? He
But when
got a
you-
photo at 150 miles, right?
David, please. Now,
I'm just asking.
calculate the pixels to the lighthouse and tell me what bearing that should be.
Right. So okay. So on this scale here. Unfortunately, this is his map. I don't know. Oh, you're asking me to mess around with and I had to rejig his picture because the picture he had here I thought was wrong, and I had to jiggle it here. So he claims, I think in this, that it's 100. Oh, okay, here you go. Okay, he says here it's 1.779 10 to the minus 3 per pixel. He claims that's 11. Okay, I might be able to. No, but I've jigged it, unfortunately. Oh no, here we go. Oh, okay. He says that's 300,000 to. Okay, so if I take that measurement, I should be able to. Okay, if I see what that's in mine, and then I can then compare. Let's get rid of that arrowhead. Let's put that right. Okay, so according to my system, that is 3,000. Let's write that down on here. That is 3,000. Let's make the text a bit bigger. 3,000. What was that? 3,000. Oh, sorry about this. According to mine, that's 3,258.9. 3,258.9 is what I think. Oh, actually, it's not too far off. No, it's exactly the same as he's got. Actually, he's got 3,260. Okay, so we actually agree there in actually the pixels. Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, great. So I can actually use these numbers as they stand. Great, that'll make things a bit easier. So he says that it's 1. Let's write that down in English. He says that's 1.779.
I don't know if Anthony realises he's been muted by one of the chat trolls that joined just to mute him.
Just get bigger. So that's
I think I've muted myself, to be honest, Nathan. I was just giving him.
Can you say hello, Ken? How you doing?
Times 10 to the minus
Can
3.
you hear us, Ken?
So that's the number of.
Bear with me a second. Just want to say hello to Ken.
So if I go and measure this.
Bear with me just 1 second, Rumpus. How you doing, Ken? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Right. So you want me? So he says that's 250. So what's the question again? He says that's 252 bearing from St. Bees onto this point here, which we don't quite know what that is because if you look at the picture, it sort of slopes away. So quite what that point is relevant to, I'm not quite sure. So what do you want me to do with this?
I want you to measure the amount of pixels to the lighthouse that Jeremy pointed out.
Right, but where's the lighthouse on this picture?
Hear you.
You're gonna have to look for it, but it's
okay. Right, I thought that's what you were doing. Right, okay. So I've got to go and find the heading to the lighthouse. Okay, I can do that. But just
no, I want you to find the picture. I want you to find the lighthouse that Jeremy picked out in the picture. You've got to.
Okay. Well, I've now got to go and find the heading to it, haven't I? So that's
no. What do you see? He saw the lighthouse at 150 miles. Is that what he's saying? How many miles is it to the lighthouse?
35 or something.
Yeah, it's 30 something miles.
Right. I'll go and do it here. But I thought this is what you were doing while I was. Let me go. And
well, no. What I don't want you to do is go onto Google and find it. I want you to find the lighthouse in the
look
picture.
at what's out there at 100 miles.
Sorry, how do you want me to find the lighthouse?
Zoom into the picture that you've got.
Well, I can't. Oh, right. Oh, I see. Ah, right. Okay.
Find it on the picture.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I didn't. I thought you wanted me to go and find it. Right. Oh God. Oh, it's there. It's there, isn't it? I think that's it there, isn't it?
Zoom in a little bit so I can see.
Yeah. I think it's there. I think that's it.
I've been arguing about this for 3 days now.
Just
because I ain't been here.
And you're not helping by saying we're arguing about it for 3 days. We're trying to resolve it. So shut up. Right.
So, you have been arguing about it for 3 days.
Look, go away. You're not contributing anything positive here.
flat
I think
earthers knocked
that
you out
one-
on this one. You need to. What do we got to do? Go
Can
take
you-
another picture or what?
Can someone kick this guy out? He's interfering with this presentation and interaction here. I think that's the lighthouse, isn't it? You found it there?
I think that is the lighthouse. Yeah, you found it.
You're right. Okay. Is it just to the right of the of Silo?
That's the lighthouse. Yeah. So just put a line somewhere where you're happy with it.
Okay, so I presume that is the lighthouse then. Okay, let's say that is the lighthouse. I'll put a point on there. Whoops, a bit smaller. Right, so that I think his picture was rather better than mine. I mean, I was saying this is a bit crappy.
Well, this is why really we don't change them all. We work them on raw rather than putting filters through them, because you lose clarity but you gain contrast. But in any event, just
I can go back to my other picture. I mean, this is let me just go and see if I can find it in my
No, you're close enough to that point there.
Oh, okay, right.
So just count the pixels between the 2 points.
Between which 2 points?
Between the point that you've just got, the lighthouse, and the point at the start where we measured it at 200 and what was it, 252 point something.
Oh, right. You want to know? Oh, I see. Sorry.
I want to know how many pixels between them 2 points. I want you to then convert it.
Okay.
Bearing.
Let me
Just so that we can check your maths. That's all.
So, but the trouble is, we need to know what the point there is if we're going to try and. Right. So, okay. According to my thing, that's the lighthouse there. Right.
I think your mark's moved, so as you've moved your picture.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't matter. I'm moving on the image. I know I've moved the mark. Yes, but I put the mark back there. There's the lighthouse image. Right. So,
Can you just zoom back in and just double check that you are on the lighthouse? Not to be fussy, but.
Okay. All right. Okay. There's the lighthouse there. Can you see that? This is the blob identified earlier.
Your arrow doesn't line up anymore.
So it's just to the right. So it's just to the right of this Silu thing. Okay. But yes. Okay. If I had a moment, I'd try and find it on my other ones because I'm sure other people had a clearer image than this.
It doesn't seem to line up the way it did before, though. Can you just?
Sorry.
If you're counting pixels, it should really your arrow should line up with the lighthouse, but it doesn't anymore.
No. The arrow. It doesn't matter what the arrow is doing. I just that for the visual for you. It's where this line is the thing I'm going to use as the measuring tool.
Fair enough. My bad.
It's okay. Right. So I'm going to just make sure this line is exactly on here. So let's just go and let's move it down a bit. So there we go. Right, but we've got to make sure we're lining up with something. The trouble is whatever this right-hand edge is here. So you can see it's slightly not horizontal. You can see here that the image that's being composed is not quite horizontal, which will introduce a little bit of an error, but it shouldn't be. Now so that I can tell you that on my system is 2,158. Sorry, yes, that's right. That's 2,158. I'll write that in on the text. So that was 2,158. Let me just go and check that again. Go to here. I click on that just to make absolutely sure. 2,158.8 pixels is the width, according to 0.8 pixels from what we think is the lighthouse to whatever this point is here, which we don't quite know. Right. What do you want to know now?
Convert it to the bearing and tell me what the bearing should be.
Okay. Well, I could have done that more simply by just simply going to the right of this 248.
I know, but I want you to check it over a significant enough distance to check the accuracy of the calculation of the maths.
By the way, I just used this compass mapping program, and it is 248 from St. Bees to the lighthouse.
I know, but I wanted to do the conversion because I want to test the maths.
Okay. Well, you see, this point here, I don't know how accurately that Alex did this. Whereas I do know that this is accurate. So it would be making more error. So you should want me to do it from this way because that's more error prone. And therefore you can say, look,
you can do it from you can do it from a different point, but not a point that's.
You should want me to do it from this way.
Been muted, Anthony. Sorry, we've got chat trolls jumping in.
Just got muted by One Stop Gamer.
Sorry. Right. So let's go and zoom in on that. So
You're currently
Right,
muted,
listen.
Anthony.
Sorry, mate. I think I got muted at the time that I just said that. I don't want you to do it to something close to it because I want to check the accuracy of the maths. So
well,
would
yes,
you
but
mind?
if this is very accurate, yes, but I thought you might like this. Then I'm more liable to
Nope.
make a mistake this way, and therefore you can then say, "Oh, look, it's all inaccurate."
Find a different point that's further away because
Well, okay, let's do it with this one, and then we'll do it with another one. When we'll have two, won't we? Right. So that distance there is how many pixels? That I'm going to check that. That is I should have no. I don't want round caps. I want butt caps. So I get that exactly right. Let's make that different color just so we can all check that. Let's just make it a little bit. It's probably slightly large. I mean, it's all right. Okay. And because of course up this line up here, I mean, Alex has drawn it here, but it could easily be just here. This is the peak. I mean,
That's why I said pick a bigger one so that the difference was bigger.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, but it's not, we're not going to change the error, is it? It doesn't matter if this line is, 200 miles to the left. That error would still be there if he hasn't correctly identified where that is. Anyway, but we'll go with what we've got here. I mean, it's what probably could be about 5%, 10% error or something. Right. Okay. So that is so that how many? I forgot how many pixels this was now. That is 135.9 pixels. 135.9. Make that a bit smaller. Right, so that is 1.35 pixels to the left, to the right of 248. Right, so let's do some calculations. Right, so using that factor that we had, whatever it was, the factor that this one here. Right, okay, so the factor is 1,000. Okay, he's got slightly different factors depending on. Okay, we'll go with that one. Right. Okay. So we have to multiply 1.6825 times 10 to the minus 3. It's not going to do the calculation in this program. By just writing it in here so you can see, by 135.9. So I'm going to go away and do the calculation. I'm doing a program you can't see. What have I done here? Uh, 16825 times 10 to the minus 3, which according to this is 228 times 10 to the minus 3. I do have a terrible problem doing maths and trying to write stuff at the same time. So if anybody wants to check this, I'm more than happy for them to do so. I have a terrible problem trying to do graphics. So that's b times 10 to the minus 3. That seems to be our result. So that is the number of degrees. So it's hello, can't be right. What have I done? Yes. So that's the number of degrees. So that's oh right. So that's 0.2 of a degree. Yes. So which is the same as equal to 0.228 degrees. Right, which makes that lighthouse at 248. So the lighthouse therefore is at 248. 248 plus that. Plus 0.228. Let's see what that is. Program you can't see. Okay, it's 2. Oh, it's 2.841. Let's get it right. 2. It's 2. 0.16, wasn't it?
Well, he's working this out. Can I show you? Can I show you, Anthony, the thing that I came up with, the revised
I
one?
think
And
he's just about to give us the bearing, though, isn't he?
Here we go. So it's 248.388.
Is that what the bearing of the lighthouse is?
Supposedly, yes.
Right. The
Yeah.
actual bearing for the lighthouse is 245.21.
No, that's not right. No, that's not right at all.
That is right. That's what I've got it out on screen.
I'm using this compass plot website that you can use yourself called googlecompass.com.
Right.
But sleeping,
wait.
you have to realize that
Hang on. Just before we start going into...
I stopped gamer. Can you stop?
You're muted again, Anthony.
Yeah, sleeping. You.
All right. So I've got it on my screen now, and it's precise in terms of precise against Google. Okay. Now, all I'm going to say is I've got the beginning point to where I was, and I've got the end point to the lighthouse, and Google is saying 245. You've calculated it at 248, and somebody else's epistemology is saying no, neither are right.
Using googlecompass.com, yeah.
Yeah. So what value did you get epistemology?
It was 248. Hold on, let me redo it again so I can give you a precise to the decimal. But it was 248.
Right. While he's just double checking it, Nathan, would you mind presenting my screen, mate, please? Just so I can show people what I'm showing, because everybody thinks that I'm a liar.
No, we don't know. We just think you're stupid.
Well, that's an improvement on what you normally can, the normal things that you say about me.
No, I've never accused you of lying. You mix me up with other people. I very rarely accuse people of lying.
Would you mind presenting me,
Okay,
Nathan?
let's keep on track. Let's save the ad hom. Come on, this is really early in the show.
Yeah.
Let's just save it for the end.
So,
Say again, Nathan.
okay.
We're getting too early into ad homs. Stick to the facts. We're doing really well. It's really early so far. We're only half an hour in.
Nathan, do us a favour. Could you present me one just so that it stays on while if I get interrupted?
Can you guys hear the noise in the background? Should I mute myself?
Just always mute as a matter of course if you're not talking is my advice.
All right.
But thank you for asking.
Nathan, present my screen for me if you would.
You are.
Oh, right, okay. Right, so hopefully you guys can all see that the bearing that I've got on my screen is 245.21, and I've got it pinpoint precise on the lighthouse. And when I zoom back, you'll see that I'm exactly at the point where I said I was. Now, this raises the next question: why are there three different values, and which value do we go for? Because
I've just been informed there's another lot. There are two lighthouses.
No, not at that point. There's not. There's only the one.
I'm just checking your bearing. Where was that damn lighthouse on here?
There are two.
Well, sleeping. You also have to think that while you're using an actual, Google Map kind of thing,
according to me, it's 245. Who else got it 245?
No, but you got it at 248. So why is it just been adjusted?
You know what I'm wondering? See, because what I'm using goes by magnetic bearing, and so Google Earth is going to give you the actual bearing, and so I'm wondering if that's where we're seeing this discrepancy.
Well, we're 1 degree off magnetic north. So would that account for 3 degrees? Probably not.
Hold on, let me try this again. Hold on.
Yeah, according to me, if I've got the right lighthouse, there's one at 245 bearing, which is just to the right, which is just to the right of. So which one? I found a lighthouse at 245. Is that the one that you found?
Right, but you've measured it at 248.
Well, hold on. It might not be the right lighthouse.
It's the only lighthouse that's on that corner, so it is the right lighthouse. But you've got the maths. There's 3 different answers for the maths. So which maths do we go with?
Hold on. Okay. Well, let's just go. Let me just go. Right. Okay. It can't be that lighthouse because Salo. It's. No, I've been measuring to this one. Here's the lighthouse. We've been looking at the wrong one. Here it is. You see, you said there was no one. Okay. Well, okay.
Hang on a sec. Hang on.
There's the lighthouse.
What are you talking about? Let me see what you're showing.
It's the one just to the right of Bien Ye Foti, whatever. There it is.
Can you show it me on screen?
Yeah, I am. I'm sharing. I'm not sharing. Am I not sharing that?
That's not the lighthouse we've just measured. That's a different lighthouse.
Well, okay. Well, that's the one that I've just done a bearing on. Okay, so I've done that's the one that that's my 245 one. Okay, so I'm the one who's
right. Well, in that case, that makes the maths even worse.
No, it doesn't. I've got exactly 2 light.
which one are we measuring to? If you can give us the one we are measuring to, then he can go back and do the maths to that and see what happens. Because if you're measuring to different lighthouses, well, then this is.
Could you show me the maths, the lighthouse that you did the maths on just?
Okay. Well, it's a blob. I don't know that it's a lighthouse. I mean,
Just zoom out. Just zoom out a little bit. Let me see it in the context of the land.
Okay. This
Because your reference point was something I'm not familiar with.
Right. So this mountain here, the one with the slope on it, there. If you can you see this Can you see it says Bien Fot here? Am I showing the right thing? All right. So that I just measured it to that, and that's the thing that I just
Right. That's not the lighthouse that you've just calculated for. The lighthouse that you've
I know. That's why I found 12245, which is this one, I think, because it's just to the right of Bien. So the one over here is another lighthouse or something.
No, listen. Let's just listen to me. The lighthouse that you've just calculated for with the yellow line is the lighthouse that Jeremy Clarkson owns at Morgue Hold. So it doesn't matter whether it's the one that Jeremy pointed out. We've got the right lighthouse, and it doesn't match the calculated mass that you just did.
Well, hold on. We don't know. Well, no. Hold on. The lighthouse that the only lighthouse I've so far found is this one here in Google Earth. This one here, which indeed matches up with this blob.
You've just put a yellow line on a lighthouse called More Gold. Jeremy Clarkson owns it, and we're all familiar with it. And we've just done the maths, and you calculated it.
No, we haven't, because we haven't identified which lighthouse it is. It could be this one.
You've just calculated it on the lighthouse with the yellow line on it, right?
No.
He doesn't know if he got the right lighthouse.
It doesn't matter.
It does. What do you mean it doesn't match if I got the wrong lighthouse?
Because I've done the bearing test on that lighthouse.
Okay, but no,
I haven't though.
Can I explain this to him?
Okay, you can.
No, it's not me. It's not. Listen, I'm the one that knows all about the Isle of Man. So don't try telling me which lighthouse he's got. I've done the bearing. Listen,
there is a lighthouse here.
Listen, the one you've calculated for, Rumpus, is Morgue Hold. And I've done it based on Morgue Hold.
Are we sure about this? Are we completely sure?
But right, so now I'm going to ask you, Rumpus.
How do you know that?
Well, hold on. I'm going to go and find this.
Listen, Rumpus, let's push the math one step out and go to the next lighthouse. But instead of doing it from the lighthouse that's there, do it from the first, either the first, forget it. Do it from the lighthouse because it's 2 fixed points. So calculate your bearing based on your maths, not on what we think it is or what the satellite tells us or whatever. Do it based on your maths at 248 and tell me what the bearing is for the next one underneath BN Fot or BN Pot.
That's at 245. One underneath BN Fot is at 245.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No,
and I've just checked it on Google Earth, and it is.
No, it isn't. It's about 2. Right, it isn't. You might see. This is why calculations like this are useless. Do we need to go through this to check the data before we do the calcs? Because if we check the lighthouse, we're not then going to be able to do the maths to it.
What's that gibberish? I still don't understand.
I don't want to give you the answer. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Right. So you have to either trust me that I've got the correct lighthouse.
No, I'm not going to trust. The one thing I'm not going to do is trust your competence, because we've demonstrated before you're completely incompetent. So what I do know is,
you know what? If you give one more ad hom attack, I'm out of here. So fuck off.
All right. Well,
look, no swearing, no ad homs. You've done really well, Rumpus. Come on.
Right, okay. Well, okay. Well,
Anthony, no swearing. Come on.
Is at 245. That I've checked that on Google, and there's one here 24, which is just to the right of this. That although it says 24, but I've crushed it a bit. That's 244.97. So this is 245 here, and there's a lighthouse here. So
Rumpus. The first lighthouse with the yellow line on it. That's the one we've done the maths on.
With the yellow line on it. What
yes,
yellow line?
The yellow line that you just added. The one that's got the line on Siliao. The maths that you've just done.
Where's the yellow line here?
Is it green? I'm colourblind. Yes. It looks yellow.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, fine. Okay.
Right. Yes, so that lighthouse there, Morgue Hold.
Right.
That is called Morgue Hold.
Okay, I would like to find that on Google Earth, and I seem to be having problems doing that at the moment. Is there a lighthouse at 248?
No.
Well, that's not the light. Okay, in which case that image is not a lighthouse then.
Of course.
You're muted again, Sleeping Warrior.
Yeah, it's okay.
Look, hold on. Look, we're just guessing that's a lighthouse. I don't know that white blob's a lighthouse.
Right, if we check it, we can check it, but the problem you've got is you can't check the other one because I want you to calculate the distance between the two lighthouses.
Okay, well, if we can find a white blob on here that is the lighthouse, that we know is the lighthouse, at the moment, we've got this white blob that we've assumed is a lighthouse. I didn't know it was. You told me it was a lighthouse. I've no idea what it is.
Right, I don't care if you think I'm incompetent or not. All I want you to do is measure the distance between the two lighthouses that we've just been talking about.
Right, but
and
I
tell
don't
me
know
what the
this is a
bearing is.
lighthouse. You're telling me it isn't a lighthouse. You're telling me it's not in the right place.
Sorry to
Well, you
interrupt.
picked
You've been joined by a
Okay,
new
how
guest.
about
Can you
this?
say
Is
hello
there a
to the new
lighthouse
guest? Rumpus,
just-
bear
is
with
there-
me.
is-
Rumpus. Hi, agriculture. Is it? How you doing?
I'm here.
Good
How
to
are
have
you?
Yeah, I did get 245.33, Anthony. I was doing it wrong with this compass tool thing.
Right, so we all agree then that this thing here is a lighthouse, and that's a
Yeah, it's the Mughold
245 odd.
lighthouse.
Yeah, so that one there is one lighthouse,
Yeah,
and it's a
just
245. Great. So now we're just not quite sure where this other one is, because and so I've been told that this white blob here is a lighthouse. I don't know that or not, and I can't see it on Google Earth. But I mean, if we can't find it on this image, if you're are you telling me that white blob lines up with the lights? Is it just below sea?
Can you zoom in? Can you zoom in on that? Let me pull up my original.
Sleeping.
No, I don't
Is
think
there
that's it. There should be a white spot above it. Hold on.
Sleeping. Is there a lighthouse
there,
around
is it?
Segan or
No, that's not it.
Sealu?
That's not it.
Sealu?
Yeah,
I
because
don't know these.
No,
Yeah.
go left. Go left from there. No, go left. You got to go left.
well, that's
There it is, right there. That's right there.
No, that's the other one. That's the 245 one.
That's
measure the gap
Mughold. That's the Mughold lighthouse that we're talking
Yes,
about.
that is the Morgold. Yes, I think that is. Yes, I think you're right. I think that is the Morgold.
Because
Yes,
it's
I
got the
think that-
structure above it. It's got the white structure above it that you see in the photo.
Just measure the gap between the two lighthouses. That's all we need
But
to do.
tell me where the other one is.
There is
don't
no other
know.
lighthouse. There is no other lighthouse. That other object there is not a lighthouse.
Right. Okay. So it's completely pointless then. We've only got one lighthouse.
Right,
Yeah,
so
there's only one lighthouse. It's the Mughold, and that's right there.
So this is the Jeremy Clarkson one, is it right?
Yes,
and this is the one.
correct.
And this is the one at 245. Right, which is
Yes.
exactly which, as I said. So this is on this thing. We've got the Bieni Focht thing. It's 244.9, and just to the right of it, as we expect, is the lighthouse at 245 odd. So what this
Yeah, I
white
measured
blob
it at
is,
245.44, I believe.
right? So this blob over here is not lights at all. It's got nothing to do with anything.
well, that was what you said was the lighthouse. That was
I
what
did never ever said this was a lighthouse. I entirely took it on what you told me. I said
I
from the
never picked
very
that out.
start that I did not know what that was. Don't say that I said that was a lighthouse.
Well, I didn't say it was the lighthouse, and I've not seen this picture. So,
Sleeping.
all right,
Sleeping.
let's start
You did.
again.
I heard you say it was a lighthouse.
Yeah,
Well,
you
I asked for
did
the
say-
I asked for the one that Jeremy picked, and he picked that one, and I didn't
No,
realize
think-
it was
no,
or
he
wasn't.
picked- I think he picked this one.
He said
Okay.
he thought that was a lighthouse, and then
Right,
you
so-
said I agree, and then
Do it to Morghold.
Okay,
Well,
it's
okay,
just a
that's- okay,
mistake.
this
Let's
one
move
here,
on.
right.
So what? Who cares? Everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on. So we know.
How you
so
doing,
we
Tony? Good
think
to have
this-
you.
Yeah, that's for sure Mughold. You can
Yes,
tell by the
exactly.
white
This is the
building
one at
above it.
245. This is the Morgold Lighthouse. Right. I think we're all agreed on that one. What do you want me to do with this?
Do the maths between that
We want you to
and
measure it.
yeah, measure it to another known point of reference. Do you have any reference points that you know that are accurate, that you know that are verified and trust?
Well, I trust these. I mean, this. Yeah, okay. This. Well, I'm reasonably happy. I agree with Alex that this is Silu here, so I can work out from there what it is. I can measure that distance.
All right, let's see if I can find Silu.
But it's also
Pickle
to the
Rick.
right. I mean, it's also obviously to the
Unreal.
right here of this Bian Y Focht thing. I mean, it's which is we know is at 244 point. I've crushed it because I've
Sleeping. You got muted again.
Yeah, I know it's all right. I'm keeping an eye on it.
right. So that is 244.97. So this is obviously going to be very close to 255. So let's go and unfortunately okay, well, yeah. Okay, so we could measure
Rumpus,
that.
can I say something? Can I say something to you real quick, Rumpus? Do you think it's a little ridiculous that we have to go through this much to find a lighthouse that he gave as evidence? Anthony, for real, like you know what it takes in this arena when it comes to evidence. You know, you have to have everything on point. You have come with this, and I don't know, are you doing this just to get away from having to deal with Soundly's new evidence he came out with? I don't get it. 4 days we've been dealing with this, and you have pushed it. Don't you think it would be nice to have all these points mapped out for us?
Well, of course, I've
properly?
determined today, along with Alex, that the left-hand side of this picture, right over here, is Douglas at 400.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, Rumpus, though? You know what I mean, though? I mean, seriously,
Well,
like,
what
it
do you- yeah, but
shouldn't
what do
be
you
this hard to
expect?
get this information.
Can you guys hear
I
me?
know, it's just...
Yes, we can.
Yes, Alex, we hear you.
What do you expect, though? I mean, this is what I'm afraid. This is the level of competence.
They're doing this on purpose. They're doing this
No,
on purpose.
no, he's not doing it on purpose. I don't think Anthony's
Yes,
doing anything on
I
purpose.
guarantee it.
He's just
No, I
not
guarantee it.
very good at this.
No, he hasn't said anything about sound leads. I want to know about sound. What do you think about sound leads?
Well, hold on.
new
Let's
evidence?
keep on this. Let's keep
Anthony?
on topic, shall we? Let's focus on.
Oh, geez, Rumpus, come on, man.
Well, he's
All
trying
right, keep
to
going.
make a point here. He's trying to invalidate something. Let him finish his point before we move
I'm
on
not
to.
trying to invalidate something. I'm just testing the maths.
Okay, all right then. Okay, you're just testing. Okay, fine. Sorry, you're just testing the maths here. So let's do whatever you want to do on the testing front, and let's get on with that.
Have you picked a second point that you can measure between?
Well, yeah. So I'm happy to say this. Okay, I'm happy to say this bend with is a 244.97, which means I can then draw a little line from there to here. I'll zoom in a little bit more. Right. So, oops, let's go. Too much. Right. So that distance there is 142.9 pixels. 42.9. So if we add that to, if we add that using that factor we had over here, so if we multiply that by, so we need to multiply that by 142.9 times this 1.68, or whatever it was we used before, 1.6825 times 10 to the minus 3 should give us the, and then if we add on to that the or subtract, I think, no, we should be able to add on to that 244.97. That should give us the heading to the lighthouse. And do that calculation. Another thing you can't see.
I think I got 245.21. What did you get in the Google Earth there, Anthony?
For what?
For the lighthouse.
Your heading, the heading on Google Earth that you just showed us.
For the lighthouse from? I'll have to go
from
back.
St. Bede's. Yeah.
Give me a sec. I'll go back into it. I was off it. I was looking up that mountain.
Shout out to David for the super chat. Much obliged.
So what I said is like, no, you got nothing to say about what I just said?
Right, indeed. So I got 245.1.
Am I muted?
I got 2-1. I got 2-1.
Sorry, Servite. Sorry. I mistyped it. Yes, exactly the same. Right. So is that the bearing to the lighthouse?
The bearing to the lighthouse is. Where's it gone? Where's my window box? My box gone? Hang on. I lost my little box. Where the hell is it?
Exactly. We should already have the bearing down. Jeez, this evidence is crazy. You guys are you serious?
What,
Anthony.
I think you're being a bit harsh.
Do you not think it's no? Hell no. It's been 4 days on this.
Yeah, but
he's done.
He's not. Look, if he was a bright,
he knows it too. He was laughing. He was
ruler.
laughing. He knows what's going on here. He is
measure again.
reflect. Oh man, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here.
What? Just hang
is
on.
this really happening?
So if you, oh, there it goes. 343. No, something got screwed up because it's saying 2343. So.
Hi, Alex.
Yes.
Good to have you.
So is the bearing to the lighthouse 245?
Bearing to the lighthouse is
245.21.
I think you know what all
No, he
coordinates
doesn't.
are. Yeah, I think he does.
You're
I think
being-
he's just.
you're
No, hell no.
You- Look, some people aren't
Right,
terribly
you're gonna have to
bright.
bear with me a sec.
Let me just do this. I will do this on Google Earth Live, okay?
Fine.
At this point, I think it'll be faster. The only thing that might be a little annoying is that the internet connection that I have right now is a little slow. So let me just try this. I'll share my screen. Just one small tiny window, so let's hope that everything works. Can you see it?
Yeah, we see it. Go
We
ahead.
see your
This is my
screen,
screen.
Alex. You're being presented.
I am presented. All right, so let's do this. So, come on. Yeah, I said my internet connection is like it will take some time to load.
Okay.
Actual
I have the bearing.
file.
What did you say the bearing
Have
was
it.
that you calculated?
245.21.
Yes, that's exactly what I have.
Right. Great.
Right.
So we're all in
So-
agreement. So
right now, because we now have a fixed reference point. Now pick the one that you say is the far extremity of the left, which is the maximum that it can be for the island,
Right.
based on the evidence, right?
237.36 is where both Alex and I have agreed is the left-hand edge of the island, and that's the cliffs in front of Douglas.
Yeah,
Nothing
the cliffs
to-
that between they're the cliffs between Baldrine and Douglas.
Yeah, those.
Okay,
They're
couldn't-
about 120 meters or so.
So
Yeah,
we now have 3 different measurements, and they all yield more or less the same result. How do you explain that?
Right, we only have one reference point now, though. Okay, I want you to
So-
go from Morg Hill Lighthouse, calculate it to the end, and tell me what pixels or what bearing you end up with.
Okay. Well,
The last
well-
calculation.
I've effectively done that because I've added on to 244.97 to this. I've effectively done that already because that value that I've ended up for the bearing of the lighthouse was dependent on this bearing of 237.36. It was effectively adding on to that to get to 244.97, and I've added on the extra bit here, so I've effectively done that already.
237.
So 237.36 is where Alex and I independently have come up with the left-hand side of the image, and that is the cliffs. As
All right, hang on. Let me have a look. Wait a sec. 237.36.
Yes, as a bearing from St. Bees, and now epistemology. It sounds like has also got onto this. These cliffs.
If you can
as well.
click that link in the side chat for me there, Rumpus, if you could share that picture for us.
Okay, right.
All right, great. So when you're ready, I'll respond to that. Okay. I'll wait for you guys until you're ready.
Okay, yeah, I just want to show this picture real quick.
Okay, I will. Give me a moment to get that copy link address, and I will poke that in. 2 seconds, nearly there. Right, and I will just reshare. Okay, I'll just change what I'm sharing. Oops. Coming up now. And it's there. Right, can you see your picture, epistemology?
Yep, there it is. Yeah. So that city that, if you look and you see, so these lines here, I have them listed here, these landmarks that I was able to pick out.
You did well to do that, by the way, that ridge line. Yes, if that's correct.
Yeah, so if you look at that ridge line to the left of that city that you originally were calling Douglas is very obviously Bella Canal, right? And if
Hang
you
on,
look at
hang on, could you just, when you say it's very obviously Bella Canal, could you show me why it's obvious? Because I don't agree with that.
Because there's no other city it could be that's right next to that ridge line. If you look on Google Earth and you look at that ridge line and you look to see what city is visible, it has to be Bella Canal. Plus, you can see a big part of that city, or it's not a city. It's like a little section of houses, little town,
Yeah.
a little municipality or whatever. And it's the one where you can see all of it. You can't see Douglas because Douglas, the angle that you're looking at Douglas, you're just seeing the very edge of Douglas because there's mountains blocking almost all of the city from the direction that we're looking at it from St. Bees. So there's no way that you could see this big layout of houses and buildings.
That's not accurate. That's not true. You can see Douglas from where we are.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
You can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
And
If
Anthony,
you want to go on
in
Google
fact, you're
Earth and
showing that
draw a
right
line
now.
from St. Bees, you'll see that there's mountains in
Just
the
look
way
at your
blocking
screen. You can see that the cliffs in front of it are blocking it.
Yeah, this is based on 237.33 degrees, which is what
Yeah.
you said was the maximum field of view that
Correct.
we had.
Yes, correct. And you see that there are cliffs in the way. Don't you see that?
I do see that,
Yeah,
but
if
I
you turn
disagree
that into a
with the
segment and you show the elevation profile, it becomes
I think
obvious.
I think Anthony's disagreeing that 237.37 is
Correct.
whereas we all three of us are saying it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've done it independently and using this calculation with the degrees. Both of us had independently used the degrees per
All right.
pixel,
And
and we ended up with
independently,
the same
my
result.
assertion is that you've independently got it wrong. Now,
Well, given the fact, so far, Anthony, you've got every
Anthony's
single
got the
thing
magic
wrong
key.
you claimed just about.
Unlocking
I'm
doors.
afraid your record is 0 out of 10, and we have so far have got everything
Really?
right.
so if I show you that you're all
Down,
three of us
lady.
wrong, will you accept it?
Well, no, but in your opinion, I'm afraid, is not terribly worthy. But I mean, you can try. Certainly, go ahead. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've got.
Hold on, Anthony. In that picture of mine, those lines, those red lines that you see coming out,
Rumpus.
those are lines that
You're
You're the
gonna
most
let him in
polarizing
or
prick
what?
I've ever heard. Fuck off.
Yeah, but the
Hold
trouble is,
on.
you're
Oh, you want to leave? Hey, everyone, he left because I came in and said soundly.
No,
Guarantee it. No, I
no,
already know that. No. I know it.
no, Tony, he left because he didn't want to keep getting personally.
No, he loves
attacked.
this stuff. He loves this stuff.
He
Trust
didn't
me,
want to
he
get
loves this
personally
stuff.
attacked. And I
Joseph,
wouldn't
I'm telling
either.
you.
Yeah, but I'm telling you,
Joseph.
it's not a good idea to personally attack people.
And
in
it's been 4
arguments.
days,
That's
Joseph,
not-
dealing with this. Are you serious?
That's not
Joseph,
how
come on,
you-
you're a really nice
Before
kid
the
and
hour
stuff,
mark,
but
too.
do you not see what's
We
going
haven't
on
even
here?
hit an
He
hour.
is deflecting.
Hello?
Even if he's deflecting, that doesn't give you a right to personally attack him.
I suppose
you don't
I'll
go
accept.
to the
I'll accept
Joseph,
I did
come
slightly
on,
overdo
man.
it. I'll accept I did. I'll accept I did slightly overdo it.
He'll attack other
Hey,
people.
you hear what they're doing? Like they're pushing this. Alex, you go.
I mean, I suppose
Sorry,
what irritates me is the confidence with which he was asserting things a few days ago about this picture, that this was Ireland, and then he denied that he'd referenced Scotland in front of Louis, when in fact he was actually in his video saying, is this Scotland? And he tells us with this great authority of what's what, and then we go and check it, find that the picture's all are not composed correctly. He claims from places Douglas that isn't Douglas. You then, it goes on and on and on and on. Eventually you think, well, what the hell, Jesus Christ, there's only so much you can take.
Okay, I understand that. But if you ever want him to actually be able to think that your side is correct, ever take your evidence, then you have to stop personally attacking him. It's a thing. If you personally attack someone, if someone doesn't like you, they are less likely to look at your evidence.
I didn't do it all the time.
You didn't do it all the time, but you did it. The fact remains that yes, a bit's fine, but you should really be attacking the argument, not the person.
But I kicked off initially. My initial presentation about the pixels per thing, I didn't. I did. I think, but they're slipping one ad hominem in the process of doing this, but only one minor one at the very start for the first 5 minutes. But yeah, okay, I slipped in a few more. But the irritation with the light, and I suppose what ultimately irritated me was that accusation he made of me claiming that thing was a lighthouse, when I made it so clear that I was accepting what he had said, and I never ever claimed that thing was on. And then still to be told that was a lighthouse and I'd said this, I find that really, really annoying. So that, I think, aggrieved me a bit. But anyway. So basically, we've refuted all of this Isle of Man bollocks, and the only thing we're left with is still, we still haven't quite sorted out the refraction business. But I had another presentation on this, showing you exactly what the degree of refraction and non-standard refraction is required, and it's quite small now. Now that we've established that's not. I mean, Nathan had a good point. Nathan had a good argument to point when we thought that left-hand edge was only at 20 meters high. And we could see that, and yet we couldn't see bits of Douglas and some of the right-hand side. It was a problematic, and epistemology initially fell into that slight trap where he mentioned that, that bit on the left-hand side. But now we've established that's not 20 meters high. That's in fact 400 or 100 meters high, the bit that's right on the sea level. That, fortunately, we've now eliminated that as a problem. So that's great.
Good to have you here.
Those hills are 40 miles away. They're not, what they were saying, 50 or 60 or whatever.
How you doing, Arwen? Good to have you.
Nathan, what do you think about the entire situation? Do you think that the calculations we did regarding the headings of the apparent edge of the island is approximately correct?
No idea.
Because you don't know.
No, I don't think so. You are basically assuming the whole thing is you're turning it a degree. You're saying no, it's more over to the left. Makes no sense.
No, we're not turning
Makes no
it.
sense for
We're not
ship
turning it
line.
by a degree. I'm sorry. All we're using is the coordinates of the peaks that we get from Google. I mean, you can find the coordinates of each individual peak that I used as reference points from the internet. And the other thing that I was using was first of all Anthony's own picture, and obviously the headings from Google Earth. I didn't turn anything by 1 degree. I took everything from the data that was already available.
You clearly didn't understand what we've done, Arwen. You've clearly no idea what we just did about working out the degrees per pixel. You've clearly no idea about how you can measure angular separation and then extrapolate from those visions. And it just so happens that what we did entirely agrees with Google Earth. I mean, you've no idea what's going on, basically. All you've got is, that is wrong. That's the only argument you've got. You haven't provided any mathematical, physical, geographical argument against what we've done. You've just simply said, that's wrong. That's not going to work, I'm afraid, as a response.
Nathan, I just want to know, did I get sniped or did I push without thinking, and that's why I got removed?
You got sniped, I think.
Okay.
I
just wanted to make...
Well, I haven't ejected anybody until just literally a moment ago, because I think Derp was a troll. But other than that, I've not successfully ejected anybody.
This guy.
Say again?
I was wondering if there's any way we can get back to the sky, because the island is not working out too well.
What do you mean it's not working out? According to the maths, there's a huge proportion at the bottom section of that should all be missing, including the lighthouse. You guys have had to
But
bring it
we are
back. You
stuck
guys have
on
had to bring it back
refraction.
from beyond the imaginary curve with myth magic.
Right. Well, no, I have 3/4 done of a presentation showing you what's going on, but I then stopped doing that this evening to work on this showing where the edge was and agreeing with Alex where it was, because that's more important, because it establishes what we're having to do, what's missing. And of course, if it's Douglas at the left hand side and it's just at sea level, 45 odd miles away, and what we're trying to deal with is something 100 meters high. Obviously, before we were saying as you pointed out, there was 250 meters missing. If that left hand edge had been the lowlands at 20 meters at the very end of the Isle of Man. But now we're not having to deal with that as an issue. Now we've just got Douglas at 100 meters high at 45 miles, which is a much smaller refraction is required. So the problem has changed considerably since your first reasonable claim when you had the information you did about a missing 250 meters. Now it's only about missing about 100, which we can account for.
It wasn't reasonable.
Well, okay, I'm just being nice here, and now we've only got to deal with missing 100 feet. Because we can obviously see things are missing. We can see that Douglas, we can only see the top of the cliffs near Douglas, so we know that the Douglas is 100, well underneath the horizon. But we still got some bits that should be further down. We shouldn't be able to see quite as much as we can, but we can account for that by non-standard refraction, and that was the other presentation I've half done.
Didn't I just say that?
So the entire shape's off because of non-standard refraction.
Yeah, so they've
This
accounted
makes
for
no
about
sense.
1/10 of it. Basically, the rest of it, as I say, the
You're
lighthouse, all
declaring
that
that
should
all
be
these
seen.
parts that Anthony said where they were, you're declaring they're over to the left. That means that, like the southern part of the Isle of Man, what that's supposed to represent, that's actually, well, pretty much the same distance as the right part. Despite them,
it's not.
being hills and everything, is extremely
Go take some
low.
ayahuasca, Arlen.
And the right
You have not
point
tripped this one
had
out properly.
these huge hills. It's very logical.
You've just claimed that the right-hand side of the image is about as far away as the left. That is completely and utterly bollocks.
No, the left part is a lot further away,
Try not to
obviously.
swear. Just try and keep it civil.
You seem to be
And
saying,
you're saying that the left part, that is not Ireland, that is actually the southern part of the Isle of Man.
we're not even the
Doesn't
southern
make
part.
any sense in the shape.
Doesn't make any sense in the shape. What are you talking
In
about?
the shape of the island.
It makes perfect shape.
No, it makes no damn sense at all.
Just by it makes perfect sense. We've
No,
shown
because
you the maps.
then the northern part would be all huge mountains in compared to all the southern part, and that's
No,
what we
it
get
isn't.
to
The
see when you look
northern
up
part
close.
of the island is much flatter than the southern part.
Yes.
When you take a look at the northern part, right of that
Really?
cliff that you can see, the highest elevations are about 30 or 40 meters. I think even less.
Yes, I think it's even
There
less
are
than
like
that.
two hilly areas that go slightly above 100 meters, while the hillside at Douglas are much higher. They are about 110, 120 meters in some places,
Yeah.
and that all the time.
And that's hidden.
Can you say Hail Hydra for me?
But you're saying that the Douglas Hills are on the left there. It's
Yes.
like the southern part. You're talking about all these hills. Well, I don't see any hills there, and it's not that much further away.
Because
And
they're
the
hidden by the
northern
curve.
part is
They're
huge.
hidden by the curve.
Look at the northern part; it's huge in comparison.
Because it's nearer. It's 15
It's
miles
roughly
nearer.
the same distance.
Oh, it's 15 miles nearer. The north part of the island is 15 miles nearer than Douglas. What don't you know about?
leaving hills like that size? No.
I don't. You're just saying no. There's no. Saying no is not going to get you anywhere.
The shape just doesn't match up.
Well, in your head, but then your head's completely
Yeah,
anomalous.
nothing about any of these pictures match up to any true reality that we can all
They said
see.
The photographs do. They are actual photographs.
Do they?
You can
Are they
see.
actual photographs? Can you pinpoint the
If you
lighthouses
Genesis, if you
without having
Right.
to
But
zoom
you can at
in
least
and then
make out
predict
what
that
the
it's here
actual
and
shape
look over
is.
there?
You can
Genesis,
make
if you
out
jiggle,
the actual
they were
shape. That's
they were
one
initially
thing.
composed incorrectly, but once you jiggle them around, like I and Alex have done, and epistemology have done, you can make them into get the clouds and things lined up and then you look at it in Google Earth, and they do actually sort of come together. It's quite difficult in Google because it's so far away. You must remember when you're using Google Earth, you can't zoom, you can't be at a distance and then zoom in. You have to effectively sort of move yourself to the island. Unfortunately, then of course all the perspective then changes very much. So unfortunately, Google Earth is very poor at doing what we're doing here, which is to just look at something that's 50 odd miles away.
So Google's really reliable when it like is.
You clearly don't understand
perspective. Now here it's like, oh yeah,
the problem with Google
really
Earth is that it doesn't have the zoom function when you're on the ground. You can't simulate a telescope in there. You can just zoom in that much.
So they simulate the curve. The curve gets in the way. This is the problem. So when you do that on Google, you have to go halfway across the ocean because all of what I'm saying shouldn't be there. Everything, including the lighthouses, if they are plural, but the lighthouse, certainly Jeremy Clarkson's lighthouse, should not be seen. And from Google, because they simulate the curve, which we don't see in the photograph, we don't see it from Google.
We do, because we're missing.
You said
we have to go. No, that's why we have to go across. That's why we have to go halfway across the ocean. We have to go halfway across the ocean because we cannot see it. Now you're saying that's because it doesn't have a zoom function. No, it's because it simulates the curve we're not seeing.
Well,
what I'm saying is we're not getting the angular resolution that we would like to have in Google Earth because it doesn't have a zoom function.
Yeah, Nathan, if you look at the picture that I did, all the landmarks line up with where you would expect them to line up. And on top of that, we know that we're not seeing all the land because you can't see any of the northern lowlands, which are even closer to you.
Yeah, and we can't see
you guys will deny anything.
I mean,
you haven't presented any argument.
Everything.
Owen, you haven't presented any argument at all. You've not corroborated
everything.
First of all, sorry, is it Arvin or Arvine?
It's Arwin.
Arwin, okay. We did 3 independent measurements to see what the left end, the apparent left end of the island is, and we all got the same result. How do you explain that? Nothing?
He doesn't have an argument. All he says is, "Oh, that's not working," and that we could just throw that away. That's not even that doesn't even start to be the start of a functional sentence in this debate. You might as well just not bother to say that. It doesn't have any value whatsoever.
And Arvin, you just said that we just throw things away, and that's all we do. When you say that doesn't work without supporting it, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, show us your maps. Hypocritical. Show us your picture. Show us your diagram. Show you where you think the features are.
And that's another problem. Whenever we present you with a picture from NASA or something, you would say, "Oh, it's photoshopped. It's fake." But then when you try to present, then you go and try to present picture evidence. Well, how do we know that that's not photoshopped or fake?
Yes, exactly. And isn't the evidence so terrible too? Like, it's not crisp, it's not clean.
But
it's ridiculous.
Well, the thing is, as soon as you dismiss a version of our evidence, you can no longer use that evidence because you have said that we can't trust that type of evidence. So as soon as you say, "Oh, Globers can't use picture evidence because it might be contaminated by Photoshop and stuff," then you're saying, well, now flat earthers can't use picture evidence because they might be photoshopped.
They can't use this picture evidence. This one we're looking at, they can't use this. This is garbage.
Also, Arvin, the picture that I used for my analysis and that I gave to the Rumpus for checking came directly from Anthony. It was the picture that Anthony and Renty used. The only thing I did to it was to contrast enhance it a little.
Yeah, but they didn't do the contrast. Someone else did. They're the one that made it crisp and clean. Or did you do it?
What you need to know is Anthony asked me various times before to take pictures that he took and contrast enhance them because apparently I know more about using GIMP than he does. And he always accepted them, and he did also with this time. So the contrast enhancing, at least for him, isn't a problem.
Wait, Nathan, what are you doing?
Well, that's good to know, though, Alex. Thank you. That's cool.
No problem.
I trust what Alex does, for real.
Yeah, Alex did a good job.
Never lied or been caught in anything. No.
Yeah, and he and I independently did this work. I actually used the original crappy picture and I recomposed it to put it correct. And he used the newer one, and I got my results using that, and he did his, and we both we both agreed. And Epistemology seems to have done something himself as well. And using the and Alex and I used this degree, very simple idea that simply in your angle of vision that the number of degrees and pixels are going to match, because effectively your camera or your video, you're just simply recording the pixels and at the same angular resolution. So you can just, once you've got two mountains or something, two features that you can know the angle between, you can then extrapolate to further distances from outside that. So Alex and I did that. We both ended up the same result. And these claims that was Douglas, that Anthony was making and Ranty were making, and Ranty drew all those diagrams of where things were and features and bushes and places and things, and they were all utterly wrong. I mean, a couple of them might be right, but I mean, basically, fundamentally, they were in error. And we've refuted.
Yeah, I mean, it's a simple methodology, and there's really not much you can fuck up about it if you know. Sorry for swearing. If you know what you're doing, and if you know at which peaks you're looking.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing is a mirage, according to you guys. I don't know if you can see my screen.
For the past 4 days,
Can you see my screen?
that have worked on this the last 4 days, you guys have done an excellent job, because this is terrible evidence, and you guys have dissected it beautifully.
No.
I just want to give all the Glovers that have worked on
What's
this.
terrible about it? Everything below this line, according to you, according to
there you go.
This is about no one's allowed to make this point.
This is all below the curve of the Earth, according
but really,
to you guys.
though, guys, Glovers, you guys did good.
I'm just saying, this is the reality of the situation.
Before we change the subject, do you accept that it's very likely that our observations or analysis of Anthony's footage is correct, because we got the same results 3 times using the same method from different people?
I don't know. I'd have to have a closer look at it, but
I mean, yeah, we've effectively now presented it 2 or 3 times.
I'd have to have a closer look.
Okay,
right.
Well, you know how to look at it properly and see if you can be the fourth person.
We've got people like Lou that are asking me, why can't we see the beach when this entire lighthouse should be hidden? And you're saying it's not. It is hidden. It is behind the curve. That's a fact.
And he's also standing.
Hold on.
You don't
have to interrupt me that quickly.
You're only seeing
Hold
the
on,
top.
Tony. You don't have to interrupt me that quickly, my friend.
There you are.
You don't have to interrupt
I knew
me.
you'd come out.
No need.
Toronto,
No need.
Chicago.
No need. I'm not quite done
Everybody's
making my point. I'll just make my point and then I'll stop. So, everything below this line is hidden by Earth curve. I've got about half a sentence in there.
Everything below.
Oh, there we go. 2 words in. 2 words in before Tony's triggered and interrupting me. He can't help himself.
How
Tony.
Nathan,
How can you mute Nathan? That's weird.
I can't mute Nathan. Can't you mute
Nathan?
He muted himself. You guys don't know who you're dealing with here. It's crazy. Trust me.
Someone came in and then muted Nathan and then went away.
So if you're going to mute me, I'll just turn you all down and make the point to the audience, with none of you being heard. I don't mind if someone's muting me. So, for the audience, everything below this red line is a mirage, because it isn't there. It's hidden by the curve of the Earth, according to them. Now, according to me, we can just see it. Simple as that. It's not a mirage. It's not gradually being refracted up perfectly along this line as it gets further away. This is the 50-mile bit of the island down here, according to them. And that's how far away, that's how far underneath the curvature it should be, according to them, in their mathematics. Now, according to them, this land is being miraged up that much, according to them. And down here, when Lou, who's an idiot, is asking us why we can't see the beach, all of it should be obscured by the curve of the Earth. And according to the physics professor, it is being miraged back around the Earth with his fudged mathematics. That's what we're getting. There you go, guys. I'll stop presenting now. Go back on mute and turn you all back up now. I've got to have my say.
How much higher the cliff
Thanks for muting me, whoever
and
did.
I think you end up with about 22 meters. That's about 65 feet or something.
Hey, you guys, I think we should look at Stanley stuff for real. Like, give him credit. No one's really dug into his stuff. Can someone please put his stuff up and show everyone? Come on, please. It's time to change this subject, and let's give Stanley his respect.
Hey, real quick, sorry guys. Nathan muted everyone, talked over you, called me an idiot, and then unmuted you. So there you go. Now you have context for what just occurred by.
Oh, we were all muted, were we?
Yeah, Nathan did it. I told you guys.
Yeah, you muted me.
Not a shocker.
You muted
on
me.
YouTube, he'll mute us and then talk over us when we're talking.
No, I
when
got
Wilbur's
muted.
talking.
You guys told me that I was muted.
Yeah, you
I
did.
couldn't see. So I got muted and then turned you down, made my
Come
point.
on, man. We're not stupid.
Yeah, did you see that? Did you
Well,
see
super
that? Me
nice.
just getting muted?
There you
Clearly
go.
not.
Well, did Anthony
I
just do
thought
that?
Nathan was muted. Sorry,
Yeah.
Nathan. Someone's claiming.
Anyways,
Anyways, claiming that you muted everybody on YouTube or something, so they couldn't hear us. Is
Did
that
you
right?
not just see what just happened? Someone muted me. So
yeah,
as a
you muted us
consequence,
on YouTube, Nathan. On YouTube, you muted us.
yeah, I control the show. I'll do what I
And then
like.
did your little picture.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
if I get
like
muted in the hangout, let's
we
just
have a
make
good
it clear
point.
for Tony.
If you mute everybody, and we'll just not come back. I mean,
You don't have to come back. Vote with your feet. Never come back again.
Okay,
That's
right,
entirely
okay.
up to you. Vote with your feet, my friend.
Hey,
No, nobody's asked you to
we're all
come here.
having
I've put the
fun
link
here.
out and you've come. Good for
Wow,
you.
you're getting it.
You want us to go? We're fine.
Nathan, you've done some
Go,
pretty
go.
crazy stuff.
No,
the
that's
last
not
4
an
days,
issue.
man.
Yeah,
My
Nathan,
point,
that was pretty scummy.
I'll make it
Like,
again. You don't have to listen. You
And
can
you do
choose
it.
to or not. Is somebody muted me? Now, while
You
I'm
just-
screen sharing, I can't unmute myself. Now, people are going to mute me. That's what
Why
I
were
have
you
to
screen
do from my end. That's what I have to do.
There's a difference between you getting muted and then
Your end is in
not
11
letting
minutes.
us out, and then insulting people and trying to debunk our evidence while we can't hear you.
Well, that's not my fault. I haven't muted me in the hangout. Somebody's muted me. I've said it 3 times.
Okay, but you can unmute yourself.
Right. I
How
can
do you
unmute
expect
myself,
people?
but that would involve...
Oh, this is. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, here we
There
go.
you go. So
Yeah,
I get
Nathan. How do you
muted
expect
again.
people to respond if they can't hear you? You know. See ya.
Exactly. Somebody's muting the hangout. That's just the way it goes. People are getting muted. I've got control of the desk. If I get muted, that's not going to stop me from speaking. Anyway, Sleeping Warrior the only one here? Or has he been muted too?
The only reason, yeah, I'll probably get kicked. If I get kicked, just Skype me back in. The only reason I left Nathan is because I did warn Rumpus at least twice to pack it in, stop being a dick, and he carried on, and I'm not going to take it. I don't mind being shown to be wrong. I don't mind making a mistake. I don't even mind really being called a liar. But I'm not going to be sitting there and just being told ad hom attack after ad hom. It's not on. I don't talk to him like that. He doesn't deserve to, I don't deserve to be spoke to like that. If you think you can disprove or debunk me, do it. But don't be personal. There's no need to be personal. That's why I left. So I only saw a little bit of what was going on with regards to you showing the line, and I realized the point that you were making. And you are quite right. All of that curvature should be behind the earth, or all that land should be behind the earth. So even if epistemology was accurate with his math, which I don't say that he is or he's not, I need time to look at it and to do my own thing with it and to see whether or not I agree. I need time to look at it and see whether or not I agree with what he's saying. But I need time to look at it. But in any event, it still does not change the fact that that land that he identified that he said was such a town should be behind the curve. Now, if we're talking about the curvature, even if we did make a mistake with the identification of the land, which I don't think we did, but if we did, then that's fine. I'm happy with that. But it still should be behind the curve of the earth. So,
boys, you don't like us being muted when we're pointing this out. That's fine. It's still going to get pointed out whether you like it or not. And as for Rumpus, well, do you not want us here? Everyone's welcome. If you don't like being here, you're welcome to leave. Nobody's asking you to be here. The link's there for anybody to join.
Now, what I'll say is...
He's got sniped. What I'll say is... I know.
I don't think I've been sniped, have I?
No, I don't think you have. Just getting muted.
I'll be
the
getting
muting.
muted. He'll just keep popping in and muting and popping out. But do us a favour, Nath. Just share my screen, because this is why I'll go with the town identification is still wrong. Even though it's angular maths and all 3 of them have done the angular maths, does it make the angular maths correct if it's the wrong set of maths? No. What makes it correct is what you can prove, not what you can calculate. Just bear with me one sec.
Wife's asking if the Globers are having a hissy fit. I don't know if I'd phrase it that way. I don't know who's sniping us and who's muting us. We don't know. I don't think it's the people on the panel that are actually muting anybody in the hangout.
thing that
It's
pops
just
in.
somebody that pops in that wants to cause disruption, but that could be a glober, it could be a flat earther, it could just be somebody that doesn't like the conversation. Like,
Who's the
like
favourite?
Jamie Brown.
Present my screen.
Or One Stop for Gamers. You know, these guys want to just disrupt
Yeah,
things.
right.
It's not Dread. That's Dread's name. His gamer name. But even if I
what?
catch him, like
Why
I
is my
just
screen
have,
flashing his knickers off?
no,
What the hell is that doing that for?
I don't know. Those.
Oh, there we go. It's fixed. So it's something to do with the dual screen setup, right? That's okay. Right. So here's why the town identification is not correct. Regardless of the curvature argument, which is what we're supposed to be dealing with, I don't mind if I've got the town wrong, and I don't mind if I've got Douglas wrong. What I mind is where is the curve, because that's what we're supposed to be talking about. So, if the and if I go muted, Nath, just interrupt,
Okay.
because
Like now. Jamie Brown.
no, yeah, he did. He muted me, and now you're muted.
We'll get there. We'll tell people there's a whole lot of land that we can see that we shouldn't. It should all be obscured.
So I know I see him coming on. It's okay. He's not going to be able to catch me because the only thing he can do is snipe me. But if that, should we just come back in on Skype? Would that be easier?
Nah, I don't know. Just stick with it. Cat Earth's joined. How you doing, Cat Earth?
Hey there, man. How you doing?
You having fun? It's a good hangout. My wife wants to ask me something globe related that's actually flat. Seldom does my wife ask anything to do with flat Earth, so I want to actually listen to a question. I'm actually going to go on mute for a sec.
Oh, you want me to mute you? Okay.
No, that's not what he said. That isn't what he said.
Oh, sorry. I thought he said mute me.
No, you didn't. Surely you didn't. Come on, Alex.
They
You don't
definitely
have
said
bad
mute
ears.
me. I heard that. So what's going on, Riley? Come on, what's going on, man? Why are we doing this?
Well, my wife's just made a point, Riley.
There's a problem with missing
Can I
curvature.
just paraphrase what you've just said? Can I
We
just
got
say
the
what
height wrong, the altitude wrong.
Do you mind if I just say what my wife said? Sorry, Riley
We got the
and
lighthouse
Alex.
wrong.
What do you mean I got the height wrong?
Gotta
What do you
keep
mean
the
I got the
wife
altitude
sweet.
wrong?
I thought we got the altitude wrong. I haven't really been paying attention, but
Oh, right, okay. So you're talking gish gallop.
no, it sounds like you got the altitude wrong.
I've
Oh,
got
right,
the
so that
gish
makes it
gallop
true.
too. My wife wants to ask
Well, it's the
something,
problem,
right?
isn't it?
So she's saying, if everything below the red line is a mirage, why would it line up with all of the land that's actually visible?
Because it's clearly not a mirage, is it?
Well, no, that's exactly the point. I mean,
Oh,
it's
is that
not.
what they were saying? It was mirage.
Well, it's being mirage. It is a mirage. It's being bent back up around the curve of the Earth, but the top half of the island is visible. We have line of sight with the top half, and then everything below the line that's red is is being refracted through non-standard refraction back around the curve. So, in other words, everything below the line is being blocked if we add
Who
line
said
of
it was a
sight with it.
mirage?
But it's just perfect atmospheric conditions to bend light back around the curve that isn't there. You know, we're having to explain it in really complicated terms because we can just see it. That's the bottom
gets
line
complicated,
here.
doesn't it? Trying to
Well, the bottom line, Alex, is we can see it.
Let me make this point, Nathan. Then this will put this pretty much to bed until the next hangout
Yeah,
for
man.
now, at least.
Would this be the end of it? Yeah.
It'll be the end of it for now. They identified that the assertion is that me and Ranty have got the thing wrong. And, you know, the identification of the town. They said it was Bala-Canal. Okay.
Yeah.
Bala-Canal is measured at 37.32 miles. If we do the curve calculations according to the model that's dead reliable, oops, balls.
What
was it? 37.32. So 37.32, and then the observer height 35 roughly.
Is it though? Is it really though?
You've been muted again.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll come back to that in a sec. But let me just make this point first. 497 feet behind the curve. So the altitude of this is at town centre level. It's at sea level. So it's like what? I mean, what are we looking at there? 200 feet max, 145. And if this is Bala-Canal that we're seeing, I want to show one other thing relating to this town. In the in the image that they say is Bala which is what they say is over here. We see there is a big white square. Can you see the big white square?
Right, yeah.
I tried to identify this just because I mean, I'm happy that this is Douglas, but if they say this is Bala, fine, I'll go with that because it's hard doing all this. But let's see if there's anything that looks like it could be this.
Okay. And how high is it, did you say?
Oh, look, there's a big white square there. So let's accept that this.
How high? Yeah, but how high do you think that is?
This,
oh, you mean that what? Oh, come on! You can't just go. There's a big white square there. It's that one.
Well, it looks like it's the only big white square on the image that I can see.
Well, I don't know. Not really.
Well,
You're not looking at very much. Move around.
Say hello to Chad. How you doing, Chad? Good to have you, Chad.
Big white squares, but there just happens to be a big white square.
I think you're just guessing a lot, man.
Hi, Chad. How you doing? Good to have you, Chad.
Please talk about something.
And good to have you, Chris, as well.
To be honest, it's a fair shout, mate, because there's evidence of a big white square, and we found big white square. So what we can do then is see
come on, man.
Well, this is the claim, right?
Just making guesses, man. If I came around just making these guesses, you wouldn't have it.
Yeah, but there's a big white square in there.
Come on, man. Are you serious? This is like CGI birds all over again.
This is why we put it out there.
Muted.
This is why we put it out there to get critique, and if we've made it a mistake on Douglas, that's fine. However,
only possibly be that. Yeah.
We can still apply the maths to what we see. So let's go with we made a mistake. Well, why not? There's a big white square on the evidence, and it happens to line up with a big white square that's there, and it's at beach level. So let's say I'm happy to concede that Douglas was wrong and they've got it right, Bala Canal. However, if it is Bala Canal, this big white square building looks very likely to be the one that we can see in the image. Oh, actually, it can't.
Not really. Not at all, man. Come on. Dude, we need to know how high you were when you took this picture. How high are you saying those cliffs are there? You say they're 200 feet.
Well, I hope you guys are all enjoying the debate thus far. It's been a complete mute fest. But all the same, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. And if you would like to join the debate, hopefully we'll get a panel back up to 10 so the mute fest will end. But yes, if you would like to join the debate, plenty of gaps at the moment, simply click the link in the info box below this video. Be sure to mute the page you're currently watching before you do so. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, I'll eject you. If you are ejected, please don't try to rejoin using sock accounts, as you'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. So with that, I'll transition you back to the action. As I say, we have about half an hour left on this broadcast.
Guys? Yo, Riley, how you doing? So how high were you, Riley, when you took the picture? How high do you think it is?
35 feet.
I'm just trying to put the only place that this could be Bala Canal would be there.
Did you say that these cliffs are like about 200 feet, or this town?
Yeah, so I'm looking for what the claim now is that we're only seeing Bala Canal. Okay, so I'm just vetting that to see whether it's likely based on the evidence, because I don't like to do it based on math. Math is not evidence. I prefer to do it.
The thing is, if you zoom in there's loads of things that could be that big white blob as well.
Yeah, but there's two big white blobs there that are clearly not houses. Yeah.
Well, yeah, probably.
Hey, we might have a genuine guest. How you doing, Fanny Lancer?
Fanny.
Can you hear us? Is that the real Fanny? Birth to Fanny.
Fanny just chilling, man.
I'll give benefit of the doubt to Fanny, because I know him.
Bit of a weird show you got here going, Nathan.
Well, it's taken a turn for the totally bizarre, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you, Alex. It's got pretty weird. But that's the show. That's the show today. That's the way it is.
All right. So, but I've had time to look at this now based on the angular measurements, and I'm going to claim that they've got the angle measurements incorrect based on the evidence, regardless that the maths. Hang on. Regardless that the maths may well work. I'm going to claim that they've still got it wrong because there doesn't appear to be a big white square that we can match up with the evidence, regardless that the maths appears to work.
Hang on a minute. You're saying that the maths is correct now?
No, maths is always correct.
Right. There's a square that's making it wrong.
Maths is always correct. The maths always works out. It's whether the maths is the correct maths to be using. Now, the assertion is that I've made a mistake, or Ranty's made a mistake, or we've both made a mistake. And I'm happy to say, okay, if you think that we've done something wrong, then fine. However, based on the evidence, there does not appear to be two buildings or two things that could match this. So based on that, I can say comfortably.
Oh man, you're clutching at straws here.
No, this is called application.
There's loads of stuff on there I can see that could. Yeah, I mean, you can't tell the angle, can you? You have to get down at the angle, see what trees are obscuring. There could be anything. Could be a couple of buildings that are next to each other.
Yeah, but the buildings have to exist, though. Would you agree that they've got to exist?
Sorry, say that again.
Would you agree they've got to exist?
What, the squares?
Right.
Well, yeah.
On the evidence, if they're saying
it's
that
on
this
the
is
picture, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah, on the evidence, they're saying that this is the Bally, whatever that town's called. Bally
Yeah,
Canal.
it doesn't matter, does it? Yeah.
But if it is Bally Canal, there has to be buildings that will appear in the evidence. Otherwise, they've got the maths wrong, and that's why they're getting towns wrong. So if the maths is correct, then there should be buildings here that match it. If the maths is not correct, there won't be buildings here that match
all right, fine, whatever. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So based on this,
yeah, but you're trying to tell me it's this little square down on the beach, Riley. I mean, that's just like, why are you trying to?
Yeah, you've been muted,
what I'm doing is I'm testing the application of the maths to the evidence to see does it match. That's all. That's what I was trying to do with Rompus.
You're not going to be able to do it with this picture. You understand why, right? Because you've got you're above. You need to get the same angle closer, and then you might start seeing something. And like I said, it could be two buildings, could be anything.
Yeah, but you would expect the ratio, given of what we see in the evidence, you would expect it to be something maybe like that and something maybe like that. But they're only houses.
Well, no, come on, this isn't accurate enough. It's it's just rough.
We should be able to see something that's big enough to identify these two things, right?
Yeah. Obviously, they exist. I get that. Yeah, they're real. They're there, whatever they are. But we don't know what they are. They're just like blobs.
Right.
I mean, maybe Ranty took a better picture. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's a long distance away. But when we look down here, we see that could quite easily be one big blob. Let's have a look at the evidence again. And that could quite easily be the other big blob. Can you see how it makes sense? That this is actually Douglas because it's right on the edge of it. But that's not consistent with the allegation that it's the other town. I mean, Nathan, what do you think?
I think that, we need to know what your elevation was, when you took the picture as well. It's going to be a big help. You've been going on about this missing
curvature. I'll address that because
it's
Google Earth that's given us that figure, Alex. So
yeah, but it's obviously not actually accurate. I mean, if you look at that picture you're looking at, that's
I can address that.
I
can address that.
Been drawn by Sean. Is that a real person? How you doing, Sean? Can you hear us?
Nathan's muted you.
I love this show. But yeah, obviously it's really important because you're saying that cliff, we've seen the picture earlier, Rumpus showing, and it's a lot higher than 35 feet, isn't it? What height do you think it was?
I'm standing by 35.
You think it's 35?
No, I can prove it. I can prove it's 35. I'll show you for why.
Oh, okay, right. But not with Google Earth, right? Because we can see this isn't probably right. This is what we're disputing.
Balls-eyed it then. Hang on.
You got to stop muting yourselves.
Could do with moving that over.
Can you just tell me? Come on, man. We don't need to separate the presentation. We just need to say why do you know.
See, the thing is, I like to do things with evidence. I don't like to do things with guesstimates.
Well, then,
okay?
Okay.
All right. So 35
10
feet.
seconds into it.
These caravans are all. They've all got a name, and the name of them is called. The name of them is called. Oh, what were they called? Willoughby Salisbury's. They're all of a particular. They're made by Willoughby, and they're called Salisbury's, and they're 12 feet tall. So what we can do is we can get one of them, and we can stack how many there are until we get down to the beach. So if we do 12, 24, 36, 48, it's not quite 48.
How do you know they're 12 feet tall?
Because I've been there and I know what they're called because I'm thinking of buying one. They're called Willoughby Salisburys. So you can Google them and you can find out how tall they are. They're 12 feet tall, and that's from ground where you put your feet up to the apex of the roof. The highest point is 12 feet. So you can stack 4 of them on top of each other, and what do you know? They get down to the beach, and it's almost 4 caravans. It's 35 feet. So 12, 24, 36, and then there's a little bit more on top. But we gave you up to like 80 or 100 feet anyway. Well, you're confused because it's being applied.
Hold on. Just to get Alex's reaction to that.
Like 12 times 4 or whatever you're saying.
What's your reaction though, Alex?
Okay, whatever.
Well, it's 35.
So hang on, and where did Randy take the picture from?
This picture was given to us by Lewis Hackett.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I'm not arguing the picture. I'm just saying, like, where was Ranty standing?
I don't know what your question regarding in regards to what, Alex. We've got a picture that was given to us by Lewis Hackett. It shows the scale. I mean, it's pretty rough around the edges, but it shows the scale of those caravans, the size of them being.
I know Nathan, but it's just that, you know.
What's your reaction?
I just want to know where Ranty took his picture so we can gauge, you know, how high.
You were saying that Google was inaccurate.
All right,
and
that's
it
where
wasn't
I took
35
the
feet.
The
reason I bring this up, sorry, Sleeping Warrior. The reason I go over this is there's been loads of comments.
From this car
there's been loads of comments about your 35 feet.
No, when you know, this is Ranty's picture. I said, where was it?
What do you mean it's Ranty's?
The picture, you know, the picture you're taking that we've been looking at for 3 days or whatever.
Yeah, it was me that took the picture.
Oh, okay. Well, you took that video, and who did the comp? Ranty did the comp, yeah.
Yeah, Ranty did the composite.
Yeah, he must. But you took the video, right? So where were you standing?
You got it on screen now, right? Just to the side of these caravans here.
Yeah.
Now, with regards to Lewis's picture, this point here, Lewis claims, with loads of ad hom, but Lewis claims that this is way more than 35 feet. But actually, if you look at the actual size of the caravans, we know that they're 12 feet tall. You can stack 1, 2, 3 and a half, and all of a sudden you're down to the beach level, which is where you're supposed to be. 35 feet is about right. So
you stack 3.
Well,
3 and a half.
You got 1 there, which is where it was.
I can't see where you're pointing. But
yeah,
sorry. You got. Sorry, yeah. So you got 1 there, but that's like 4 there. I can see already going down.
You got 1, 2, 3, 4, but the 4th one's below the beach level.
Is it?
Yeah. So
Sure.
I stand by 35, but I'm happy to push it up to 100 feet if you'd like. I mean, I shouldn't do it because it's your model we're testing. You know the model that works. Your model says 35 feet.
That's not the sea line, Ranty.
Just happens to be sand there.
Alex, are you drunk?
Yeah.
So your reaction is that's not the. I just want to get Alex's reaction because we've had so many comments about this, and his reaction is to deny. So are you still denying?
What do you mean I'm denying? I'm asking you questions. denying anything.
Yeah, you have. We've had people saying it's 100 feet. We've had
sorry.
people
I'm clarifying it, aren't I? So that's fine.
Yeah, but the point is that everyone's like, what's his face? Lewis came on, and he had this really ad hom attack on me, which was done by.
He's here. How you doing, Lewis?
I'm not doing this like that, am I? So I don't know why you guys are starting.
Your elevation, as viewed from your own camera, is above the roof of the first caravan there by about double its height. So you need to stick on 2 more of them at a minimum. And you need to take them all the way down to the water's edge, which is at low tide, several hundred feet, at least from the tip of those wooden piers there. There you go. Thanks so much for having me. Good night.
Yeah, exactly. But like the thing is, right, you've got 4 of those things and you're saying it's 35 feet, but that's already way more than 35 feet, right? You're at 48 feet. And you're not even near the beach. You're not even near the sea level because there's people walking around up there at that bottom.
That's lower than the sea level.
It can't. Well, there's people you can see. Why would it be lower than the sea level? Then it'd be in the sea.
They're on the promenade.
Why would it be lower than the sea level?
Because we're trying to get a rough idea of what height.
But why would they build something lower than the sea level on the beach? It'd be in the water.
They didn't. The sea level is the sea level, right? The promenade is the thing that stops the sea from coming up.
Yeah, because it's higher than the sea level, right?
Yeah.
But so it's higher than the sea level.
This goes below that. The 4th caravan there goes below. But
why would it go below the sea?
Because that's.
Why would you expect me to believe they built a caravan below the sea?
Haven't.
I must be really drunk, man. I don't know what.
You must be drunk. They are not real caravans, Alex. That has been scaled to illustrate it.
Yeah, but you're saying that it goes down to the sea level.
No.
It's on the sea level.
4 caravans One
Yeah.
caravan being 13 foot. If you look up the make and model of these caravans, you'll see that if you stack them, which has been done graphically to illustrate it for you,
Oh, I get what
you
you're saying.
only
You can put them
get
on there.
3.5
caravan.
to the shoreline.
Ah, I was thinking, who would put a caravan on the sea?
Nobody.
Yeah.
We'd have to do
exactly.
it because a picture that didn't have these caravans was presented by Lewis Hackett as LOL 35 feet.
Yeah, but it's not, is it? That's way more than we've already done for what, 48 or something.
So do we need to explain it to you again, Alex? Are you drunk?
Yeah, you might need to.
Right. These
I'm your only
caravans
guest, mate.
are
You know what I mean?
13
I think you
feet.
should be a bit nicer.
Well, that's
'Cause I'm
because
your
we're
only
dealing
guest
with
here.
idiots like Lewis, who's hit and run after
don't mean
presenting
to
this
Lewis.
picture. Alex, this is not a picture that we've come across randomly. Lewis Hackett presented this with literally the
Yeah.
words "lol 35 feet."
Yeah. Well, that's
So
more than
lol
35 feet, isn't it?
35 feet is now being demonstrated by using a 13-foot caravan stacked 4 times. The fourth one
in
going
the
halfway
sea.
across
Nathan,
this
really in
black
the
line.
sea.
What's 13 times 4? Real quick.
They're actually 12 feet, but 12, 24.
Okay, what's 12
36.
I
times
know it's
4?
48.
We'll
I
go
did
with
it on my
that one. What's
calculator.
12 times 4?
48. Yeah,
I
48.
did it on my
That's-
calculator.
Okay, now where were you standing relative to those caravans? Was it above the roof? Yeah,
No,
yeah,
that-
it was. Yeah,
no,
it was.
that
So
was
you
further
need to
above.
add another one. You were standing quite a ways above. You need to add at least one more caravan to put where your feet were. And then you had a tripod.
I'm
And
more than
then
happy.
it was at low
I'm more-
tide, which means to get all the way down to not just the beach, not the base of the cliff, the water level. You have
Yeah,
to
but-
add more.
Lewis, do
You
you
get it?
realize that the height
You get
of
it?
the tide gets removed off the observer height? It doesn't get added to it. It gets
No,
removed
no,
off it.
no, it doesn't.
does.
It's entirely
Yes, it
relevant.
does.
It has everything to do with when you
Miles
took
Davis
Miles
tried to
Davis
argue that one,
approach.
and it's factually wrong.
Miles
if you want
Davis
to
made
argue
this
it's
wrong.
argument. Miles Davis
It
made
is.
the same argument.
It's factually wrong. The
What is
observer height-
factually wrong?
That adding the tide.
No, you're subtracting the tide, you see. Because
Correct.
it's at low tide. So the water level goes down by about 6 meters.
Correct. So you take that off the observer height.
How many feet are in a meter approximately?
3.3.
All right. So multiply
What's the circumference
3.3
of the
times
Earth,
6.
Lewis?
What do you get?
What's the circumference of the Earth?
What do you get? 3.3 times 6.
3.3 times 6, 6, 12, 18, 22 feet.
Very good. So right there, just on the beach, you got 22 feet. That's before you add those 4 trailers there, which you don't have enough of already.
Do you realize that that gets taken off though, Lewis? Not added?
No. It gets added to the height from the surface of the water. You get it?
No, it gets taken off the observer height.
Why?
They take it
Why
Let
off
would
him
it
the
make
get
his
taken
point a
off?
few more times. Let him say it a few more
You
times.
don't understand the calculations you're even doing.
Oh, right, okay. What and you do? You don't even know the circumference of the Earth, dude.
24,800 miles. Why do you give a fuck if I know the circumference of the Earth? Have a good night, dude.
Oh, Lewis swore.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I'm saying, yeah. I'm
Thanks.
really nice to you
Thanks,
guys,
Lewis.
so you should be nice to me.
I am being nice to you. I'm just
Yeah,
pointing out that you're
exactly.
wrong.
Be nice. Yeah, probably. I don't know. I just don't know what you're talking about. This doesn't look like it's 35 feet. It's just insane.
Doesn't
I
does it?
agree.
Even
We
the bottom
agree.
of that thing, that here, it doesn't
We
look like
agree,
it's on the
Alex.
sea. does it?
Amazing. Force perspective. It's amazing, isn't it? And yet
What?
you can illustrate it with just a couple of caravan cutouts. Amazing.
I mean, I don't think that's the greatest thing.
No,
But, like,
does
it doesn't
does
matter
it
anyway, it looks
satisfy you
fine.
or not? Do you still think it's 150 feet in the air?
Riley,
Could be. Yeah,
Could
it looks like
be.
it could be.
Riley,
Okay.
if you're standing in a position and you stay there and the water level goes down lower,
Maybe 100.
does that make you higher above the water than you were or lower above the water than you were?
Can I be blunt with you, Curved, and I'll be polite? I'm not prepared to talk to you
No.
at the moment because you misrepresent
I don't
everything
care
I
about
said.
your histrionics, Riley.
Political
I
Wiley.
don't care about your histrionics. Here's the deal.
I do.
No, there
You're
is no
at
deal,
one
Curved.
level,
You
and the
misrepresent
ocean is
all
the
time, and
water
that's
is at another
fundamentally
level.
dishonest. If you're going to quote me, at least get it right and do it in context. Otherwise, don't. quote
You
me
have
at
no
all
right to
because
say
you're
that to
being a
anybody,
liar.
Riley. Go to
You're being
hell.
a liar.
Listen, no, F off, you
Come on,
cuck.
guys.
Listen, if
No, I
you
won't
were
listen to
standing
you.
at one
You've
point and the
disgraced yourself
water
by
is at
misrepresenting me, Curved. At least if you're
then
going
you're
to quote
calm
me,
down
actually
now.
quote it
above the water,
correctly.
Riley. If the water level goes down, then what does that do to your distance above the water? Does it increase your distance above the water, or does it decrease your distance above the water?
You have to take it off because the
water
mean sea
level
height-
goes. No, you are a fucking idiot. Fuck you. Go to hell.
Oh man, don't cuss.
Oh. They've been having a big fight today. There's a really good video. Captain Bullshit. Sorry, that wasn't swearing. That's saying someone's name.
Maybe
Yeah,
just
that's
let.
okay.
If you
Get
could
away
just
with
let
that.
Sleeping Warrior
Hey,
explain where Miles Davis went wrong, that would be brilliant.
No, he's not here. There's no point in doing it while he's not
Okay,
here.
yeah.
We'll wait
Well,
till he
okay,
comes back
I
in.
mean, they've just had two other people, Lou and Curve, make the same point. So if you can explain
Yeah,
it.
but none of them are here now. And to be honest, I don't even want to talk to Curved because he misrepresents everything I say and he seems to enjoy doing it because he knows he's lying. He knows he's misrepresenting. It's not on. So until Curved Water starts quoting me exactly the way I said stuff, Curved Water is no longer somebody that I'm prepared to talk to. It's that simple.
I think Curved hurt his feelings.
No, Curved just lied.
Yeah, but you were getting on so well, and then this.
Yeah, but I don't mind talking to him. I like discussing with him. I like arguing. And I like disagreeing with him. But I don't like it when he goes back and tells everybody something that was not said.
Been joined by Paul. How you doing, Paul?
I'm only here for a moment because I've got more important things to do. But Miles Davis is absolutely correct. Land
No,
elevations are measured from mean sea level,
Correct.
not low tide level.
So you're another one that thinks that as well.
Well, I know that land elevations are measured from mean sea level, which is an average taken over 19 years of low tides and high tides. Mean sea level is not low tide.
You're a doofus, dude.
Okay?
But that sounds reasonable. doesn't it?
Elevations
Reasonable
are
claim.
measured from mean sea level. If
All
it's
right,
low
if you-
tide, you have to add some distance.
Paul, have you got any
Goodbye.
evidence yet for? Have you got any evidence yet for the molten iron holding its charge and creating its own charge? No,
Don't change
didn't
the
think
topic.
so.
It does make sense, doesn't it? Really?
No.
I mean, if you think about it.
No, it doesn't make sense. Miles has got it back to front, and he thinks it makes sense. Therefore, he applies it, but it's back to front. You take the tide height off.
But surely low tide is going to be lower than the mean sea tide, yeah? Mean sea tide. This makes
No.
sense, I don't know.
Yeah, it does make sense. I agree. It does make sense.
So there we go. So we've got this sorted, so it's fine.
So, the conclusion of tonight's debate is that if we did make a mistake identifying the town, that's fine. But the town is still behind the curve of the earth by about 200 and something feet. So
It's not fine because it, like, first of all, it's kind of throwing your like credibility
No,
out
no,
a
not
little
at
bit,
all.
isn't it? Because
I
you keep
have
getting
no
making
problem.
mistakes. First of all, you think it's island, wrong lighthouse, wrong town, bad.
No,
conduct.
I have no problem making a mistake. If it isn't Douglas and it can be proven to be something other, that's fine. But
We
the
know you
big-
have no problem making a mistake. but
The bigger problem is why isn't it not behind the curve of the earth?
it kind of is, isn't it? You can't see the beach or anything.
Nope.
You can see a white square.
Let Alex. Let's do it again.
So yeah, but it's just because you think that white square is that thing on the beach. It's clearly not. I mean, wouldn't we see the sand? I mean, that thing's got sand in front of it. That white
Not really.
square.
Out to Shell Scanner. Thanks
So
for the super
we've
chat.
got two big white things that are on the edge. Okay, whatever edge that is. When we go to Google Earth, we don't see that in the town that we're told that it is. Oops. There we go. What's that? What was that town
Come
called?
on, man. Come on. We can do this quicker. Come on.
I'm trying to find what the town was called. No, it wasn't Ballarat, was it? It was. Yeah,
Glorious
Ballacanal.
little square thing. Yeah.
So if this is Ballacanal, they need to identify with cross-referencing what the two buildings are. It's not
You
that
trying to
difficult.
tell me it was this thing on the beach earlier?
Yeah, that's what I think it is. If it's that town at all.
Trying to wipe me off. Where's
No.
the sand in front of it?
What makes you think you'd see the sand?
Because I can see the white thing, so why can't I see the sand?
If this is Ballacanal, these two buildings can be identified. That's where we're at now.
Where's the sand, though?
Well, the sand's behind the
Well,
waves.
what's the other building then? Let's carry on looking at that picture. So that's that square thing on the beach. So what's the other one then?
Do you mean this one over here?
No, the one
one
yeah,
there?
that one, yeah. You don't know, do you? See? It's just silly. You're trying to mug me off and say it was on the beach, say there was no curve, but it's not, because there should be sand in front of it. I'm not falling for this flat earth nonsense. Come on. Well, actually, I did already. It's not true. I am dumb enough.
While he's doing that, Alex, can you just check out my screen? I'll get muted as soon as I screen share, but just check out what I'm showing you. Everything below the red line should be behind the curve of the Earth.
All right. Why'd you say that? Oh, I was looking at this earlier. Why is the line so wonky? What is that for? Oh, he's
Still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah.
Right. Do you mean why does it go up at the end?
Yeah, I just didn't know that earlier.
Right, because this end of the island is 50 miles away. This end of the island is, what, 25 miles away? So based on your curve calculation, although it looks like we're looking from left to right, we are actually looking further over the curve as we look.
Oh man, Nathan, thank you for taking another thing that somebody else gave you a lot of hard work and taking it entirely out of context. Yeah,
Lewis doesn't know how to not swear. Bye, Lewis.
Oh, I need Lewis. I don't know this math stuff.
Yeah,
but it just seems
Lewis.
just silly. So what you're saying is that because that line goes up because we're going further away, right?
No, that's just your math. So what Ranty has done is put little blocks in all along the coastline based on the maths. It's taken him forever to create this. But basically, the reason it goes up is because as you're looking along the coast, you're looking further and further over the curve that isn't there. So everything below this line, according to Paul, is being brought back above the curve that we can't see by non-standard refraction. In other words, everything below the line is a mirage. And as my wife pointed out, why isn't it all distorted and weird below the line? Why can we see clarity on things like lighthouses? Well, that's because we can just see it, because there isn't a curve blocking our view. It's not being refracted back around a curve. We just see it. It's as simple as that. We see it, it's there. We see because it's a nice clear day. It's not being refracted. It's not a mirage.
Ranty made this line. It took him hours to make this line.
Yeah, based on your maths, this line represents what we shouldn't see.
So Ranty made this line based on maths.
Do you want to hear it or not, Alex? It's up to you. I mean,
Well, no, it's just hard to believe because if it's really
it is hard
based
to
on the
believe,
maths,
Alex. I
then
agree.
why is it
It's
so
hard
straight,
to believe
like,
that we
such a
shouldn't
straight
see
curve?
any
Why
of
is it
this
not
because
like-
the curve's in the way. That's the
Why isn't it?
reality. So based on what you tell us, the Earth
Not me,
curve
I don't know.
blocks. We have created this. Well, I haven't. Ranty has created this line to represent what we shouldn't see. So when you're saying, why is there a little smudge when you zoom right in? Why can't we see down to the bit? Oh, here we go. I've been muted, have I?
Nah, still
Not yet. When it's why can't we see down to the beach? There we go. In reality,
Oh, I hope I get sniped.
in reality, what we're saying makes no sense when we shouldn't see any of this. Forget the beach. We shouldn't see any of it. It should all be blocked by the curve of the Earth.
But Nathan, if the Earth was flat, then you should see all of it.
We are seeing all of it. You're not. This is it, Alex. I know it's hard to get it into your head because you're wired a certain way, and I get it.
Well, yeah, but I used to be a flat earther, so it wasn't that hard, was it? Understanding flat Earth is way harder than understanding the ball Earth. Trust me, I'm struggling. I don't even know why I'm doing it, to be honest. I don't even like science.
Right, I'll try once more, Alex. So, I'll give
Yeah,
you
but that's
visually.
true. That's the point. So, you know.
So
flat Earth's
everything below
easy to
this
understand.
curve, Alex, everything below this line, Alex, should be blocked from view by the Earth's curvature.
Yeah. I get what the point you're making is. I just don't believe Ranty took hours to make this line.
Okay, but we do see.
He was on it
do you-
all day, mate.
But you
To make that
understand?
line,
Do you understand the point, though, Alex? That when you're saying why don't we see the beach, we shouldn't see any of it.
What do you mean? But how do we know that? We don't
how
have
do we
exact
know?
measurements.
Because we
I mean,
can
I don't know why
see
you didn't
it.
take the
This is
measurements of
getting
your
annoying.
altitude when you took
How do we
this
know, Alex?
picture.
Let me just give you a very simple answer. Because we can see it. It's there.
Yeah,
Can you
but there's
see it?
missing.
Do you understand the
life
fact that we are
missing to it.
analysing the lighthouse is because we can see it, mate? We actually
Do you know
can
what that
see it.
line really looks like? It looks like where that actual horizon should be if the Earth was flat, and that's where we should start seeing
You're
the
so
beach
used
probably of
to
this
this
island.
line,
I mean,
Alex. You're
this
so
is
used
the
to listen to
curvature
me, Alex.
here. There's
Please,
stuff
for the love of
missing.
God.
It's not a big wave. It's
Cognitive
curved.
dissonance is so
I mean, I
difficult
don't
to
know
battle
how
against.
much easier it is to see. We can just look at pictures of curvature all day and just go, "Oh, mirage," and this and that. And
Really
but
difficult
you've
to
never have
battle
you ever
against your
modelled it in
cognitive
2D? Have
dissonance
you
if
ever
you
actually
won't
thought
listen
about
to
what
a
it should
word I'm
look
saying.
like?
You're still asking the same question because you're so used to the argument revolving around this line being about here. Well, the line is so far above what you normally class as, oh, it's blocked by curve. It's like, forget this line, Alex. We shouldn't see any of it. None of it should be visible, and it is. Trust the evidence of your own eyes. You can see it.
No, I don't trust what Ranty's done. He never gets anything right.
What Ranty's
Why should
done.
I trust what Ranty's done? You've just
Nathan,
told me. You're trying to blag me. It took 3 hours
You're
to
the only
draw
one
this
that's calling
line.
it a mirage, Nathan. It's called looming. Go and learn about looming. Stop calling it a mirage, Nathan. It's not a mirage. It's called looming. Go and learn about it, Nathan. And don't you think it's a bit hypocritical of you to complain about people interrupting you after what you did yesterday?
Why are you trying to convince me it's behind the curve and basically is a mirage? You want to convince me of that and then tell me how that happens with... Now he's gone. No point arguing.
Nah. But it's called looming. I don't even know what that is, but it's called looming, Nathan.
Yeah, I know
and
what
it's
looming
definitely
is.
correct.
I get
You're
it.
definitely wrong. It's easy to know these things.
So what he's used a word that you don't understand to bamboozle you, Alex, right?
No,
what he's saying
that's what
is,
Flat Earth has been doing for the last 2 years.
I'll tell you
to
again,
me.
Alex, you don't have to like it. Everything below the red line is obscured by the Earth. Not could be, it is. It's obscured by the Earth, and he's bringing it back with this word. Let me just get to the end, Alex, I beg of you. He's bringing it back with this magical word called looming and mathematics.
Right. What's looming, Nathan? What is it?
Right,
Explain it to me.
I'll explain it again. It is blocked by the curve of the Earth.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but what's looming? So what is that? I want
It's
to learn
being
about looming.
brought
So what's
back
looming, Nathan?
from behind the curve of the Earth with the light being bent by atmospheric refraction. So it is behind the curve. We're not really seeing it. It's not really there. It's just light being bent from behind the curve that we're not seeing. It's nonsense, Alex. You want
that's
to
not
be
real.
You can either believe the evidence of your own eyes, we can see the lighthouse, or you believe Paul that it's not there, it's blocked by the curve of the...
What I can see, Nathan, is curvature. I can see obstruction, right? And then you could say, well, I don't believe in looming, but looming's more of a better explanation of why I can say maybe more of it than I should, than the fact that I shouldn't see any obstruction on the flat Earth
obstruction isn't
whatsoever.
there.
No
it should be. You're not. You don't.
And I should be able to see Ireland as well behind it.
I can still
Where's
hear it.
Ireland?
You can't get it.
You can see Ireland. You just don't
process
realise it or
back to
accept it.
Ireland. You can see Ireland. And how do we know
seem
that?
to process it, Alex.
You can give me Ireland, then I might be a bit more
Now you're
interested.
changing the subject, Alex, and I will drum it into you so
I'm
you
not
understand.
changing the subject. I'm telling you that I don't
The
care
curve of
if
the
you're saying,
Earth
"Oh, I
should
think we
block-
should see a bit more, a bit less curvature, a bit more curvature." You can still see curvature.
We can't
not
see
changing the
curvature.
subject.
That's the point, Alex. The curvature
Zero.
should be blocking what we can see. We can see it.
We can't see the beach, Nathan, and we can't see anything behind it.
Can't get it, Alex. You just can't
Well, no,
see
you
it.
can't get it. That's the hilarious thing. The Earth's
No,
not
I do
flat,
get it,
Nathan,
Alex. I
because
do
you
get
can
it.
see things go over the curvature.
You just told me you
can
don't
see
know
a
what looming
sunset,
is. You
Nathan,
just
and
told
there's
me,
no
Alex, that you
cities
don't
getting in the
understand
way.
what looming is. So
How do you explain that one? When the sun sets and there's no cities in the way.
now we're gish galloping onto a different
Well,
subject.
I'm not gish galloping. It's the
Yeah,
exact same
you
thing.
are.
You can see curvature, Nathan. There's
Okay.
curvature on this video.
Point it out to me. I'll bring it up on screen. You tell me where the curvature
Where's
is.
the beach then?
Yeah, you're asking the same question again.
Because that would just demonstrate there's no curvature.
Right.
I
what
mean,
would-
it's so simple.
we are
Why
seeing
even I
down
get
to the
this?
shoreline, Alex. We see all of it, including the lighthouse. The fact that we are debating stuff about the lighthouse is because we do see it. We can see that lighthouse, Alex. We shouldn't. There should be a curve of the Earth in the way. Now, what is happening is they're bringing it back from behind the curve of the Earth with crafty mathematics saying that it's looming. We can't really see it. It's bendy light bringing it back. It's a mirage.
Crafty maths.
Yeah.
No, Nathan,
Yes.
I can just see curvature. I can't see the bottom of the thing. I don't need to know any of this crap. I could just see this curvature.
But you understand that what you're supposed to have is something...
Is the lighthouse at sea level? Is the you know what I mean? Is it right at the bottom? Is it right? Is it literally on the sea level? Because we should be able to see all of the beach. We should be able to see everything behind it as well.
Where's the curve that should be blocking our view of the lighthouse, Alex? There should be a curve blocking our view, and it isn't, Alex. Do you get that? You still don't.
What?
I know you don't. It's not processing for you. And
No,
I sympathise. In fact, I feel quite sorry for you.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I do. I feel pity for you.
Oh man, yeah, I know you do.
Seriously, I'm not joking.
It's such projection, Nathan.
No, I pity you. You don't get it.
You pity me.
And it's sad.
Okay. Okay.
Sad, Alex.
Okay, Mr. YouTube celebrity.
No, nothing to do with YouTube celebrity. I'm trying to explain to you. You don't want to process it. You just keep asking where the beach is.
Yeah, because that would be no curvature if I could see the beach.
Alex, I can show you the beach.
I mean, that's what you can't process, Nathan. That's what's insane about this whole thing.
Hey, Alex, keep having this argument
You
with
can't
us.
visualize what the world would look like if it was
The
actually
people who get it
if
have
was a
tried
flat
to explain
plane
it with advanced
with the sun and
mathematics, and you're asking me about the beach. Okay, Alex, fine.
Yeah. Yes,
fine.
I am.
You've won, Alex. You're right. We can't
I
see
know.
the beach. You're
I
right.
always going to win when it comes to
Yeah,
flat.
you're right.
I could get on
Good
here
for you.
like a paralytic and
Ding,
still
ding,
win. Like just
ding,
going
ding,
globe.
You win. Good for you, Alex.
Globe.
Well done.
Globe. I would. I'd still win because the Earth's a globe, Nathan. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
Good for you. The Earth's still a globe, Alex. Well done.
It is. Thank you. I don't need that much praise, but fair enough. I did used to be a flat earther, so I don't mind that as a.
Yeah,
as
you
a
still
compliment.
believe there's a curve blocking your view of things we can see. That's good for you. Cognitive dissonance at its finest, Alex.
No, I didn't say it's blocking things we can see. I say it's blocking things we can't see, like the beach.
We can
You
see
keep
the
saying,
lighthouse,
talking
Alex. You're still
about
not
the
getting it.
beach.
We do see this stuff. We are seeing it. It is there.
The beach.
Yes, the beach,
I
the lighthouse.
can show you the
Oh,
beach.
well, show me the beach.
Let's show
Well,
him
would
the
you
beach.
accept it if it did?
Show me the beach.
Would you accept it if it did?
You'll say I can't see the litter.
Show it to
You'll say I
me,
can't
yeah.
see the litter on the beach.
I mean,
that's what I'll
earlier
say.
on, Ray, you're trying to tell me this white block thing on the beach thing, and it's clearly not
You'll
that.
tell me you can't make out the sand.
Perhaps that's the reason why that
I can't.
isn't.
Sorry,
that
what am I
town.
looking at now? I'm just seeing the same thing. Google Earth.
How you doing, Steve? Good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Oh, Steve.
Good to have you here, Nathan. Good to have you here.
Come to rescue me from this. So come on, show me the beach. Let's
Not
go.
when you're drunk. There's no point when you're drunk.
Well, don't give me that. Show me the beach.
No, dude, come on. Show me the sand on the beach.
Show me the sand.
I can't show you the sand. I can show you the
Don't say-
waves. I can show
Oh,
you the
there you
waves. I can show you the waves hitting the rocks and bouncing up.
Waves that are taller than all the beach.
That sounds pretty cool, dude. Trust that.
Show us the picture.
Do you think I should do, Nathan, or do you think
Show us
because
the
of the way the
diving.
hangout's gone tonight, I should just deliberately?
Oh,
not-
look at run away.
Wait, hold on, dude. Can you show us like?
Feel free.
I don't know. Do you have a video of some sharks? Or
Yeah, I
something?
can. I can show the. I can literally show the waves bouncing.
Yeah,
up
show us the
against it.
waves.
Nah, you're not going to get
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I've just noticed
Yeah, but
we're
the
2 minutes
question
over
is,
the 2
I
hours,
can,
so
or should
I'm going to round out now anyway. So it makes no
Yeah,
odds.
I don't
It
think you
will-
should
will
bother.
be
Look,
tonight.
this is pointless. You haven't got it. You can't
Just
show anything.
wait. Hold on. Just round the fucking shit out. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Bye,
that.
Steve.
Well done.
Bye.
And with that, I will say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to the live audience for joining us and for sharing this video. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.